A clear evening, but a hot one as well from Heritage Christian High School. Week 2 of varsity football action set to get underway with the 6th-ranked Eagles of Class 2A hosting the Shenandoah Raiders in their home opener. Thanks so much for tuning in on IndianaSRN. Jarrett Lewis here alongside CJ Benberry. And it's kind of an interesting tale as we preview this game, CJ. Shenandoah not being able to play last week, had some COVID issues. That game got canceled. So they had, in essence, a week and a half almost to prepare for this game against the Eagles of Heritage Christian. And that's something that they're going to need is preparation, because this is a top-ranked team in Class 2A. The Raiders coming in with first-year head coach Jake Stillwell. A lot of new faces and a lot of new places. What exactly can you see and expect from Shenandoah to try and take down this top-ranked Eagle squad?
Well, Jared, first off, great to be with you tonight. I think it's our first game working together, so great to be with you. For Shenandoah, we got a chance to talk to Coach down on the field, and as you mentioned, the first game got canceled, so I expect a lot of rust just between these guys. They lost probably about 12 to 13 seniors last year to this year, so they have 3 seniors returning, but everyone else is pretty much new on this team, new coach. Coach took the job July 2nd. He first met the team July 7th, so he's only been really in this position for just over a month, and as you mentioned, the first game was canceled, so just a lot of probably figuring out of who's going to be who can we rely on the offensive end, defensive end. Let's see what our schemes are. What are we going to do offensively? Do we want to be a run team, a pass team? Defensively, do we want to zone, go man, blitz? So I think this is mostly just like I don't want to say a dress rehearsal, but more of just like let's go see what we have out here. And, it's unfortunate they're going against a very good team in the number 6 ranked Heritage Christian Eagles, but I think it'll be a good test for these young guys on the field that, they're excited to get out on the field for the first time on a Friday night. A lot of these players have looked forward to that, and so now they finally get to do that and against a good opponent.
Yeah, another thing was Coach mentioned to us how excited these guys were when they found out that they were going to actually be playing. They were bummed out week 1, found out when the game got canceled, sorts of COVID issues going out throughout the community, but glad that has, for now, been taken care of, and they're able to be here at Heritage Christian. Last year, the Raiders went 8-4, and the last time these two teams met was in the sectional championship last year, Heritage getting the better end of that game last year. And for the Eagles, last week they were able to play, getting the victory on the road at Traders Point to open up the season, a 34-14 victory. First-year starting quarterback Kyle Antone was magnificent in that game. 15 of 24 for 185 yards, 4 total touchdowns, 2 through the air, 2 on the run. So how about that for Coach Kyle Ray? His first-year starting quarterback is making a difference right away in week 1, doing it through the air and on the ground.
And he did this all without his starting running back, Colton Brown, was held out last week with an injury. He will be playing tonight against Shenandoah. But, yeah, as you mentioned, first-year quarterback, Kyle Antone did a great job. He did a good job in the pocket. You want to see that percentage a little bit higher, threw for 56% of his passes were completed. You'd like to see that just a little bit higher, maybe in the 60s, low 70s. But overall, for a first-year quarterback, I think that's a good starting point for Coach Ray. And then you want to see him build on that this year. Again, you've got a defense who's not really sure what their identity is. So this is a great opportunity for Antone to really go out here and exploit his talents on this defensive team.
A few other guys that stepped up in week 1 to replace the all-state running back from last year, Colton Brown, who was out due to an injury. We did find out from Coach Kyle Ray that he will be playing tonight in this game. But back to the point, Isaac Jones stepped in, had a huge game last week, 16 carries for 81 yards, and Jalen Bonds, just a freshman, and got very few carries, and they all came in the second quarter. He ran for 7 rushes and 97 yards. You like to have those two guys, especially young guys, that are able to step in case you have an all-state back like Colton Brown who's unable to go.
Well, that gives Coach Ray some relief, as you mentioned, if we do lose Colton Brown, we have a couple guys that can step in and know they can get the job done. You mentioned Bonds, only 7 carries. He broke a 50-yard run in that game last week and scored a touchdown. And also Isaac Jones, he was the bulk carrier of that team, 23 carries for just under 80 yards. So again, you've got a couple guys in the back end who can do that for you to step up for Colton Brown. And for Antoine, catching the ball, the senior Zach Schlomeyer, who's going to play a big part this year. 7 catches last week, 73 yards, and a touchdown score. So look for Schlomeyer and Colton Brown to really try to take the pressure off Antoine to make sure that he's not doing too much.
Yeah, this is a balanced offensive attack that Heritage Christian presents to Shenandoah, so the Raiders will have their hands full. We mentioned the running game, Colton Brown being out, but you have guys like Bonds and Jones who stepped up. but it's the passing game too, with Antoine and hitting up with guys like you mentioned, Zach Schlomer, who was the biggest receiving threat from last year against Traders Point, had 6 catches for 66 yards. He put in a fantastic game. We don't know much about the Raiders, and that's kind of the odd thing here is, us preparing for this game, trying to figure out exactly what it is the Raiders are going to do in this game, because we don't have film on them from last week. Although we are grateful for Coach Stillwell, had a great talk with him, was very communicative with us throughout the week, letting us know exactly what's going on and how his team is preparing for such a tough matchup.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned that we had a chance to talk to him during the week. Just because they didn't have anything last week, they sent game film out late Sunday night, early Monday morning. So not a lot of preparation went into them for Shenandoah. But he said offensively they're going to be based out of 10 or 11 personnel, and they want to try to have a balanced attack. So depending on who they play, that could either mean that they rush more or that they pass more. So we'll just to see how that goes offensively. Defensively, they're going to be returning 3 starters, and we're going to be led at linebacker by Lucas Mills, who he says he expects him to have a big year. Also, everything starts in the trenches, as they say, and that's going to be led by Colby Siller, who's going to be nose tackle, and their safety outside linebacker, Bob Ayers. Coach said he had a terrific summer. He praised him a lot during the week. We got to talk to him this week, so look for those 3 guys on the defensive end at least to try to make a big impact for Shenandoah.
Also a first-year starter at quarterback on the opposite end for Shenandoah, Carson Brookbank. We'll see him in action for the first time at the varsity level for the Raiders. You see both teams lining up on their respective sidelines. Heritage Christian, the home team, in their home blue uniforms, wearing black pants. On the opposite side, Shenandoah, the away white jerseys and navy pants. Teams are getting ready for prayer and national anthem. And so we will just stand by and wait for that to happen. But extremely excited and looking forward to this Week 2 matchup. Jarrett Lewis here along with CJ Binberry on IndianaSRN.
Hey folks, good to be with you for tonight's game. My name is Andy Simpson, and I'm a licensed IHSAA football official, and welcome to Friday Night Football, powered by IndianaSRN. On behalf of the 340 football officials, the IHSAA, the crew here at IndianaSRN, we hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and more important, don't forget to subscribe to the IndianaSRN YouTube page. As you're watching tonight's contest, I'm going to show you a few of our signals that will help you better understand the information we are trying to convey. Touchdown. Safety. First down. Holding or illegal use of hands. Encroachment, or offsides commonly known. False start or illegal formation on the offense, or a free kick, scrimmage violation. Face mask. Intentional grounding, roughing the passer, clipping, illegal shift, illegal motion, illegal block, pass interference by the offense or the defense, delay of game, and the one signal we dislike and you as fans don't like seeing, unsporting. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and following us on IndianaSRN. You can also tune in to the Football Weekly Show and Coach's Show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on IndianaSRN.org. Finally, if you've ever thought about becoming an IHSAA official, www.ihsaa.org and click on the Officials tab or call the IHSAA office at 317-846-6601. Now, sit back and enjoy the game.
Back at Heritage Christian High School for the Eagles and the Raiders. Jarrett Lewis here alongside with CJ Binberry on IndianaSRN. We thank you so much for tuning in. The Eagles, 6th ranked in Class 2A in their home opener, taking on a always tough Shenandoah team. And we say always tough because you just look at the record and it's dating back all the way to 2007 was their last losing season. So a traditionally very good Shenandoah football club, but kind of a mystery team because, we mentioned it in the pregame, haven't played yet this year, missed week 1 due to COVID issues. So new coach, new quarterback, a lot of new people in those big-time skill position spots. So kind of a lot of mystery, and we're going to find out hopefully pretty soon, just exactly what we're dealing with and how this game is going to go. But extremely excited, looking forward to this one.
It should be a good game, and again, it should be a good marking point for Shenandoah to see where they're at. Again, they didn't get to play last week. I know they were disappointed, and you can see down at least on your TV screen of how excited they are just to get this game going. As a high schooler playing football, you always look forward to Friday nights being under the lights, and so they have a great opportunity to maybe steal one away from Heritage Christian tonight and shock the world and to see who they are and get Coach Stidwell his first victory.
It'll be the Eagles offense that we'll get to see first out on the field. The Raiders will kick away from the scoreboard towards the north end of the field, and somebody we will also see for the first time is Colton Brown, the all-star rusher from last year of Heritage Christian. Had 1,700 yards rushing for the Eagles last year. And again, Heritage Christian sectional champions defeating Shenandoah in that sectional championship the last time these two teams met. And last week, the win for the Eagles over Traders Point, 34-14. There's a very much a balanced attack from Heritage Christian. Kyle Antone doing it with his feet and his arm. And Jalen Bonds, Isaac Jones, two running backs that stepped up in place of Colton Brown. Now for the Raiders, they will kick things off from the 40. They'll go from right to left. And doing the kicking duties for the Raiders will be the quarterback, Carson Brookbank. Waiting for the signal from the referee. We get that whistle. And the Raiders will kick off their season here in week 2 at Heritage Christian. The Eagles return the kick. It's Isaac Jones from the 24. And he doesn't get much after that. He'll be stopped at the 26-yard line. That'll be where the Eagles set up shop with their quarterback, Kyle Antone.
You mentioned Kyle Antone, first-year quarterback. He had a good game last week. Over 200 yards, 4 total touchdowns, 2 through the air, 2 rushing. So Coach Reg has to be pleased with this quarterback play last week against Traders Point. And again, we'll see how he sets up for his second game against the Shenandoah defense.
The first look from the Eagles has 2 receivers near side. Schlomer, the far receiver. Antone on the give to Colton Brown, his first carry of the season, good for about 3 yards.
Gain of about 3.
And we'll be hearing a lot of Colton Brown's name tonight, Jared. You mentioned that he is a all-pro running back. He had a great year last year for Heritage Christian. Merely, the guy that kind of kept this team going. He's a captain on this team. So whenever Heritage Christian finds themselves in a tough spot, look for number 20 to get the ball.
A.J. Neal is the wingback. He motions from right to left. It's another give to Brown. Sweep on the far side. Bounces off a few tacklers to pick up another 3-yard pickup.
And that's smart there by Coach Ray, trying to get Colton Brown. He didn't play last week, as we mentioned, trying to test out that hamstring. So far, so good for Colton Brown. 2 carries for 7 total yards here on the first 2 plays for Heritage Christian. So the hamstring seems to be looking well, but it is hot down there on the field, so we'll see if he wants to maybe limit his touches on his first game back this year, but so far so good for Colton Brown.
And Brown seems like the guy who says, feed me the ball, give me the ball, I'm ready to go. Let's see how good I am early on. Antone rolling out to his right. Pass is tipped into his own hands. Nice play there. Keegan Broderick picks up the first down. A pickup of 14 for the Eagles.
And that's a great catch there by Broderick, a 6'2 wide receiver, 150 pounds. And you're going to see the replay here. It's just a simple rollout from the quarterback, Antone, and you see him kind of cross the middle of the field. Look at this one-handed eye coordination catch there. Behind him a little bit, so the pass was behind him, but great eye coordination and concentration by Broderick to pull that one in.
From the 48, another give to Brown. Weaves his way through up the middle, and he's going to pick up another first down for Heritage Christian. There you see the burst of speed and explosiveness from the All-State rusher from last year.
And he just has a mixture of just power, speed, but also patience. You saw it there, waiting behind the line, waiting for his blockers to set that up. Kind of looked like a draw play from Heritage Christian, but then you see him just be patient, move his shifty feet, and he found a way to move to the left and get for a first down, gain of about 14.
Antone sends Jones in motion again from right to left. Same exact play. Brown on the give. This time Shenandoah was ready for it, and they'll just hold Brown to a 1-yard pickup.
Brown again with a pickup of 1 yard, 2nd and 9.
Now 2nd and 9 situation for the Eagles. Every play, Antone coming over to the sideline to head coach Kyle Ray, who calls the offensive plays. 2 receivers near side. This time Antone will throw. Looking far side and not on the same page with his receiver.
Oh, wow.
Schlemer was the intended target. And there's a couple of whistles, and there's going to be a flag, too.
A late flag throw. I believe it's going to be a pass interference, but it was a really late call. Schlemer trying to get open. You saw him put his hand up to try to show that he was being held. But, again, they weren't on the same page. That's going to be an interesting conversation between the referees to see was it a catchable ball.
It will be holding against the Shenandoah secondary. So it was 2nd and 9. Now after the penalty will result in a first down. First penalty of the ball game.
In a first down.
As the Eagles have had the football so far for this first quarter.
Now at the Raiders' 27-yard line.
Now A.J. Neal will split out in the slot, wearing number 9, 3 receivers that way for Antone. On 1st and 10, screen pass off the hands of Schlemer. They go back-to-back with him.
Pass to Schlemer incomplete.
And that's one he's going to want to have back, a screen pass. They have the blockers out necessary to have him maybe get a big gain there, and Schlemer just took his eyes off the ball and didn't bring that one in. That's an easy catch. Antoine couldn't have put that ball in a better spot for his receiver, right in between the numbers where you want it. Again, Schlemer just didn't bring that one in. That's one he's going to want to have back.
This time Schlemer is near side. Brown still in the backfield with Antone. He'll get the handoff here, and it's a miscommunication, a muffed handoff between Antone and Brown. That'll push them way in the backfield. We do have 2 penalty markers down.
Flag on the field.
The call is going to be holding against the Eagles.
Against Heritage Christian.
So now a holding call against both teams early on in this first quarter. That'll push Heritage Christian back to the 38-yard line. Unless Shenandoah opts to decline, which that looks to be the case here.
Penalty is declined.
Penalty is declined. Our referees for this ball game: Steve Hoffman, the head man with the white hat; the umpire, Chad Hodges; Aaron Selby, the head linesman; the line judge, Andy Thomas; and Clayton Randolph is the back judge. 5 receivers out wide for the Eagles. Antone looks right, now over the middle, through the hands of Jones, but it's caught by Schlemer. Touchdown, Heritage Christian.
I'm not sure that was the intended receiver on that pass, but regardless, Schlemer, right place, right time, makes up for that drop screen pass there for an easy touchdown. It looks to be a 34-yard touchdown, so a penalty on Heritage Christian. Antoine did a nice job in the pocket there. He felt the pressure, but he stayed in there, kept his eyes down the field, kept those feet moving just in case he needed to get out of the pocket, and launched a rocket across the middle of the field. And luckily, Schlemer was there to catch the ball because it was over his intended receiver. I believe he was trying to get that ball into his tight end, Isaac Jones, but that sailed, and luckily Schlemer was there for that 34-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it looked to be through the hands of Jones. Kind of wonder who Anton was intentionally going after, but Schlemer was right there behind him, and now he'll hold this PAT attempt, which is blocked by the Raiders. So PAT no good for Heritage Christian. It'll be a 6-0 score with 9:02 left to go in the first quarter. Kyle Antone connects with Zach Schlemer for a 34-yard touchdown reception. Eagles lead at 6-0. Don't go anywhere. More football on IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
It was Zach Schlamer who got things going last week for the Eagles, the first touchdown of the year, a 20-yard reception from Kyle Antone, and this time a little bit of the same. Scores with 9:02 left in the first quarter. This time a 34-yard catch and run from Kyle Antone.
Again, what we've seen from this offense has been, pretty much the same under Coach Ray. A good offense, balanced defense. There were some good things for that Shenandoah defense. They got a couple penalties, pushed them back, blocked that extra point there. So, again, this is really the first time we're seeing this Shenandoah team this year that didn't play last week. So the defense, I thought, didn't do a terrible job on there. You're going against a powerhouse of an offense, so you're going to expect some scores to be put on the board for Heritage Christian. But I thought they did a good job defensively on their first possession of the year.
Kicking off for the Eagles, Mateo Jesh, a high hanging kick. And up the middle, here come the Raiders to the 40-yard line. On the return for Shenandoah being Mason Lewis.
Here's a replay of that last session. You see him staying in the pocket well, and again, he overthrew his intended wide receiver. He was not going for Schlamer. He was going for Isaac Jones, but Schlamer just ran the perfect route behind. Looks like a little post route for Schlamer, and you saw him wave to the crowd there. Good turnout for the student section here for Heritage Christian, and they put Heritage Christian up on the board 6-0. But again, a good strike, good throw by the first-year quarterback.
Looks to be a beach theme for the student section of the Eagles. Good turnout for them, good turnout for both teams. Stands are packed on this side, and now we get our first look at Carson Brookbank, the quarterback for the Raiders. Similar look compared to Heritage Christian. Busted first play. Brookbank trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. He won't do so. About a loss of 2 yards on the first play of the season for the Raiders.
Loss of 6.
So the first play of the offensive season, not what they wanted for Coach Stillwell and the Shenandoah offense. You mentioned kind of a muff punt. I think, one of the main things for any football team is that center quarterback exchange. And if that doesn't go well, then that really derails your entire play. And you saw it there first. It didn't have a good exchange. He was in the shotgun formation. So Brookbank's going to have to get control of that ball. And, again, maybe some first-year jitters here for the quarterback. He's got that first play under him. Let's see what he comes back with here.
Brookbank in the pistol with two receivers both sides. This time looking to pass out in the flat. Good defense there from Heritage Christian. And the pass will fall incomplete. Set up a 3rd and long for Shenandoah.
Brookbank stared at his receiver there. The receiver just kind of ran like a little 5-yard out to the sideline there. And, I think for a young quarterback, what they tend to do is lock on one receiver, and the defense can read that. They can see if you're locking on one receiver the whole entire time, they're going to read that. And when you throw it, they're going to jump that pass. Luckily for Brookbank, he threw it over his receiver, so if his receiver couldn't catch it, no one could. But as a quarterback, you got to make sure you go through your reads, go through your progressions, make sure you find the open receiver.
There's Wade Whalen with great defense from the Eagles. 3 receivers on the far side now for Brookbank, and 3rd and long. Pitch out to his back. Ayers, who tries to get the sideline. Ball's on the ground. Heritage Christian thinks they have it. Waiting for a signal now, and that is the case. First turnover of the ball game goes in favor of the men in blue.
Ayers looked like he was going to get close to that first down mark to where maybe Coach Stidwell might have contemplated going forward on 4th down, but that's one thing you don't want to do, especially as a ball carrier, lose that football. Got to have 2 hands on it. And Bob Ayers, who is Coach mentioned, is going to be one of their playmakers and maybe their best playmaker offensively and defensively. That time he coughed it up, and that's the first turnover of the year for Shenandoah. And now Heritage Christian sets up in enemy territory with great field position.
Starting at the 46, Colton Brown gets tangled down by 2 defenders right at the line to gain, and the referees will award him a first down.
It's a first down all the way up to the 36-yard line. of the Shenandoah Raiders.
We mentioned it was a hot day, Jared. Clouds are kind of moving over now and kind of getting overcast, so maybe that'll cool these players down just a little bit. Referees talked to us, say they're going to take a little bit longer breaks just to kind of keep these guys hydrated, especially in this heat. So 91 degrees as it's showing on the temperature outside.
Another give to Brown, this time sweep right side. Taken down by the back of his jersey. Nice defense and nice tackle there from Shenandoah, and that is Bob Ayers. Brown loses 4 on the carry.
Makes it 2nd and 14 for the Eagles.
Ayers, who just coughed the football up for Shenandoah, making a nice defensive play in response.
And he's going to be playing both sides of the ball. He's going to play a little safety and an outside linebacker. So he's going to be tired at the end of today's game, I can tell you that, especially playing running back and safety and linebacker.
Jones is the motion man. Antone fakes to him. It's a sweep near side. Brown with blockers in front. Bounces off the first blocker. Has Schlamer in front. Down the sideline. Stretches out at the pylon. Touchdown, Heritage Christian. Colton Brown from 40 yards out on the screen has the second score of the game for Heritage Christian. They now lead it 12-0.
And this quarterback is looking good so far early in this year and in this game. You saw the pressure coming and obviously a screen pass, but he didn't panic. He saw that he had a player go in motion from his right to his left, faked that way through Colton Brown on a nice screen pass, and then the blockers and Colton Brown doing the rest. I think that's what Coach Ray wants to do, and coming next year he's going to have a tough time trying to find who he's going to get the ball to. Colton Brown can just do everything for this team, and so far he's ran the ball well, and now he has a rushing touchdown for this team.
Mateo Jesh back for the PAT, and it's another block by Shenandoah. That's 2 blocked PATs now. Something the Eagles want to look to get figured out, but nonetheless they lead 12-0 over the Raiders with 6:35 left to play in the first quarter.
All right, good news.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
Shh, we're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo.
You saying I did?
Yeah.
Hey, never miss an upcoming game on IndianaSRN. Hit that big red subscribe button. Follow us on YouTube. And also click that notification bell so you're notified of when games are going live. We are just told about a weather delay, so weather in the forecast. CJ's been checking the radar for us. Heritage Christian leads at 12-0 with 6:35 left to go in this first quarter, but right now people are going to vacate the stands, head back behind the football field, behind the bleachers, toward their vehicles. And so we're just going to kind of sit, wait here, and wait until we can get this football game back going. But it's been a great showing so far from the offense of Heritage Christian. Thanks so much for joining us. Jarrett Lewis here.
Yep.
CJ Benberry. It was a 34-yard touchdown reception for Zach Schlamer early on in the first quarter. 2 very good-looking drives from the Eagles. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yep.
Looked like a good week of practice. Coach Ray said it was a great week of practice. So, I mean, it's showing out on the field. They're looking good so far.
And again, it doesn't look like Antoine is a first-year quarterback. I mean, he sat all last year, obviously, but this year he's done a good job. You've seen him do some pocket presence. He stayed in the pocket. He's done well. He's found his receivers. And a lot of his incompletions have just been drops from his receivers. So he's put the ball on the money. He's done what Coach Ray wants to do, but he hasn't done too much. And I think, again, he's not designed to do too much for this offense. If they need anything, that's going to go to the hands of Colton Brown, who coming off of an injury last week. He's done a nice job, a couple nice runs, and obviously a screen touchdown pass, I believe about 24 or 28 yards. So this Heritage Christian team looks as advertised so far this year, and it starts with the quarterback. He's done a nice job.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do too much because he has those playmakers. He has Zach Schlamer, who had such a great game last week, 6 catches for 66 yards, and started things off for the Eagles last week as well, getting their first touchdown, doing the same thing this week. So there are those playmakers, and Antone, like you said, doesn't look like a first-year starter. So far, 3 of 4 for 88 yards. That'll do the job.
Yeah, and I don't know. Last week he had about over 250, 260 yards, excuse me. So, he did a nice job. 56% completion for his passes, 2 touchdowns through the air, 2 through the rushing. So he did a great job, and he's done a nice job so far here. And we mentioned Shenandoah. This is their first game, essentially. They didn't play last week. Defensively, I didn't think they've looked too bad. I mean, again, you're going against a powerhouse here in Heritage Christian, so you're going to give up points, and you're expected to have your backs against the wall early on. But they've kind of switched up their defense. They've gone from a 3-4 defense. They've had 4 guys down on the line. They've played a couple zones. So they're showing some different looks to Heritage Christian, and they've just done a better job so far of, finding ways to beat this defense. But, again, this is their first showing. And Coach Sidwell is going to get them in the huddle, and they're going to make some adjustments here. So I expect them to get a little bit better throughout the entire game, offensively and defensively.
We're going to take a break, be right back. Again, in a weather delay right now, fans have vacated the stands, so we're going to sit and wait. Hopefully we'll be playing some football here soon from Heritage Christian. Jarrett Lewis and CJ Binberry here for IndianaSRN.
You can tell Heritage Christian is still hyped up. I wonder what those teams are doing in the locker room. I wonder what coaches are – if coaches are just trying to relax, let's just kind of, you can only talk so much football, I feel like, and game plan so much, especially after an hour and a half break. So it's interesting to see how both teams come out. You see Coach Ray, or we see Coach Ray kind of throwing with his quarterback here around the 50-yard line, making sure his quarterback is loose. And, again, you mentioned the warm-up lines, trying to get these players stretched out so we don't have any injuries.
5 lines for Heritage Christian going through their stretching. Antone warming up with the head coach. On the other side for Shenandoah, 1 big line across the field going through stretches all together. Referees have now come back out onto the field. Heritage Christian student section getting rowdy. They got all night to be out here and root on their team.
6-minute warm-up.
We just got word there's going to be a 6-minute warm-up, so they've already gone through about 2 minutes of that. We'll see if that 6 minutes starts now or if it started 2 minutes ago, but nonetheless, we'll wait and see. We'll make sure players are ready to go, coaches are ready to go, referees also ready to go. I know we're ready to go. We almost ran out of stuff to do, things to say, people to see, anything you can think of.
They always tell you when you do your prep for the games to have stuff on hand because you never know what could happen. And I think we did a good job of finding some stuff to talk about, and we had enough first quarter action, I think, for both teams. And, I think still one of the main storylines is Shenandoah, and I'm still really excited just to see how they come out, and especially after this hour and a half weather delay of how are they going to come out. Their first offensive possession wasn't what they wanted, wasn't what Coach Tidwell wanted, so how are they going to respond? In football and any sport, really, you got to kind of take it play by play. You can't dwell on the past. You can't dwell on any negative plays. So we'll see how they come out. Heritage Christian has done a nice job throughout the first quarter of defensively and offensively, and so we'll see if they can keep that momentum up, or if this, break is going to maybe kind of derail some of that momentum that they had, and it kind of shifts towards Shenandoah's way.
Get a good look at the Shenandoah huddle here. One of the guys for the Raiders that you see. That'll be in the starting defense for Shenandoah, which is where they will be when we get things back up and rolling. Just a couple more minutes before we can get things back and going again. Raiders break the huddle. They're going to wander around midfield. Heritage Christian still going through their stretches, making sure they're all loose and ready to go.
You know, one thing that Coach Stidwell kind of talked to us about this week, you know, they didn't play last week, obviously, as we've harped on a lot this broadcast. It was due to a coronavirus reasoning. And again, he took this job July 2nd, and he met the team July 7th. So between July 7th and now, they've had about 5 weeks of practice. And, you know, things he thought were progressing well. He thought he saw some good things, and then they had to take that pause last week. And, you know, not just these kids, but I think a lot of kids, you know, all throughout high school, it's kind of been tough on them to be in school, be out of school. And he said it was challenging for them. He had to do what they could do through Zoom calls and try to keep kids sharp, but it's nothing like being out on the field. So, you know, it's just they've had a really tough start to their season so far, where they couldn't play last week. Finally get on the field this week, and then an hour and a half weather delay. So it seems like we're about ready to go. I think it was called after the touchdown.
That is right. So Shenandoah was on defense. Yeah. Heritage Christian had just scored with that screen pass to Colton Brown, which feels like it was ages ago. But now Heritage Christian will kick off. We'll get a second look at offense for Shenandoah. Mateo Jesh will do the honors for the Eagles, going from left to right. Shenandoah will head towards the north end zone. And after over an hour and a half of sitting and waiting for the Lightning to clear the area, we can play football yet again. I got to think this will be the latest football game that will be played into the night here in the state of Indiana. But at 8:50 p.m., we'll get things going yet again. Kick from Jesh over to the sideline and going after it. Big collision there. Shenandoah will maintain possession. Nice kickoff defense from Heritage Christian, and able to get on it was Keegan Fitch of the Raiders.
That kind of scared me. You know, special teams is arguably one of the most quote-unquote dangerous parts of the football, where you're running full speed. Obviously had a ball making a tackle, and that time 2 players dove for the football. Just want to make sure no helmet, you know, and any injury like that. But everyone seemed to be walking away, so now we get second possession for Shenandoah. Again, super excited to see how this quarterback does on the second possession. Can he put that bad first possession behind him and lead his team down the field?
From the 15-yard line, Brookbank back in the pistol. 3 receivers towards the far side. It's a pitch out to the right, and here's Ayers. Carries a tackler with him for a 5-yard gain. Nice first down play for Shenandoah to open up their second drive.
And I think that's smart. You know, get the ball in the hand of your playmaker. Calm this quarterback down just a little bit. You know, they're right in front of the student section here at Heritage Christian, so they've been loud. You can hear them on our field cam. So try to ease the nerves of the quarterback a little bit. Get the ball in your running back's hands. Try to get him some yards, and then maybe surprise him with a play-action pass.
This time, Brookbank has 3 receivers split to his left, with Ayers right behind him. Looking near side, pass over the middle is tipped, and there are 2 Heritage defenders there. But a late reaction, no one's going to come up with it. It'll hit the turf for an incomplete pass.
And again, you saw the quarterback really stare at one receiver. He's not going through his progressions. We mentioned the first-year quarterback, Antoine, looking at his receivers, going through progressions. If one's not open, he's looking for another one. You see for Shenandoah, he's locked in on one receiver, and he's not looking to see who could be open. He had a man open at the far right, or the top of your screen, his right side. So, again, he's got to make sure he goes through that progression. If he feels the pressure, roll out, try to get some yards on the ground.
3rd and 5 now for the Raiders. Deep in their own side of the field. Pass over the middle. It's tipped and intercepted for Heritage Christian. The second turnover of the game. C.J. Opper gets the pick for the Eagles secondary.
And that time looked like a run-pass option for Shenandoah. Off the hands of the receiver and just right in the hands. C.J. Opper, you look here. It's going to be a run-pass option. He does a nice job detecting the blitz coming through the middle. And once he sees that, just a little high for his receiver. And again, I believe he was going for, looked like number 12, Drake Stevenson. And he is a tall guy, stands about 6'2", 6'3", so it's hard to overthrow a receiver that high. But that time Broderick did. And now the second turnover in as many possessions for Shenandoah on offense.
Another drive started with great field position for the Eagles. Flag comes flying in as Colton Brown takes the ball towards the left side of the field. Got around 6 or 7 yards on the carry, but it's going to come back with the holding call. The second holding penalty called against the Heritage defense, or excuse me, the Heritage offense. In the previous possession, we saw a holding penalty called against the Eagles. In the very next play, they set up the 40-yard screen pass with the running back Colton Brown.
So we'll see if they go to that again. Let's see, another 3-4 defense for Shenandoah. So they seem to be sticking to the 3-4, maybe 3-3, and maybe some man-to-man all throughout the line.
Antone near side, out route to Colton Brown. Trucks one defender, nice pickup there for the Eagles. 10-yard catch and run between Antone and Brown. That's their second time they've connected this evening.
And that's a good play on a first and long, second and long, third and long. You want to get kind of like a screen pass, a quick pass out to your playmakers. And obviously the playmaker on this offense is Colton Brown. Get the ball in his hands, and you saw him drag 2-3 defenders down on the sideline. He's very hard to tackle. You got to go for his feet.
Looking to pass again over the middle of the field. Wow. Wide open for his second touchdown grab of the game, Zach Schleimer.
I really like this quarterback here, Jared. He's just so well poised back in the backfield. And Schleimer, his second touchdown of the game. It'd be interesting to see just that replay of how he got open and just a miscommunication between the defensive backs and the free safety for Shenandoah. But, you know, their offense is clicking, their defense is clicking as well. The one thing Coach Ray is not going to be happy about is this special teams unit, and it looks like, you know, the kicker, I'm not sure if I see him on the field. I'm not sure if they're going to go for two as the quarterback's running back from the field, so they might be going for two here just because they've had so many issues in the first quarter already with their extra points.
So going for two, trying to get to 20 points. Right now 18-0 the score. A.J. Neal in the backfield with Antone. Slant over the middle. Is it hauled in? It is. Austin Yates on the reception for the Eagles, and a good two-point conversion for Heritage Christian to make the score 20-0, 5:24 left to play in this first quarter. We got a long way to go, CJ, but the Eagles, they are clicking on all cylinders. Back with more first quarter action on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
It took just 3 plays for the Eagles to score again after the interception. The second touchdown grab for Zach Schleimer. 34-yard touchdown reception early on in this first quarter, and now 24 yards on that catch. Low squibbling kick, and he's got room to go. Down the middle of the field for Shenandoah. There he goes across the 30. No one's going to catch him. And what a response for the Raiders. Kickoff return for a touchdown for Shenandoah. And it looked like the player who took that big hit on the last kickoff is going to take it all the way back. Keegan Fitch.
There's a flag, though.
Of Shenandoah.
If you look all on the far side, right near the 15, there is a flag. So
it's going to be a sideline warning from what it looks like.
Looks like we do have a flag.
Touchdown is going to count, so
Touchdown counts.
the sideline warning won't affect the scoring. How about that response for the Raiders?
Maybe that'll get them going. Their offense hasn't clicked so far. Their defense has given up 3 straight touchdowns to this Heritage Christian offense. So maybe the special team says, hey, we'll step up for you so we can get back in this game until we figure out what we are. And a nice return there. And as if we, when we see this replay, it was bobbled by the returnman. And he picked it up at about the 10-yard line. So he ran 90 yards for a special teams touchdown, and now we have a 2-point conversion.
Brookbank and the offense out there has a lead blocker in front, but it won't matter. 3 Eagle defenders there on the tackle, including Colin Jones was one of them, leading the way. Check out this replay real quick with Heritage Christian on the last touchdown.
So I want to see how Schlomeyer got open. You see him on the bottom of your screen, kind of ran a in-out route and then back inside, and again, the cornerbacks might have been thinking he was playing a zone with the safety, and you can kind of see the 2 players there talking about what are we supposed to be running here. I thought it was man. I thought it was zone. Regardless, Schlomeyer gets into the end zone for his second touchdown. Schlamer, in for the touchdown. We were kind of talking off air about how did he get so wide open. That's how you see, and then just an easy slant play there. As a cornerback, you got to play up close, especially on that goal line, because the slant is the easiest pass you can make down that goal line, just a 1-2 step, quick pass. That was the 2-point conversion. Here's the kick return here. So Heritage Christian hasn't been kicking the ball deep. It's gone to about the 15, 10-yard line. So you see it skip past there, but again, it was muffed the very first time he got it, and he picked it up at the 10, but then just great blocking by the special teams of Shenandoah and some great speed here by the returnman. Once he had the kicker to beat and it was just an arm tackle, it was off to the races for Shenandoah, finally into the end zone. And they couldn't get a 2-point conversion for this either. So Shenandoah's on the board. Maybe that'll get this offense started, and maybe it'll get this defense some extra juice to get going, and they can stop Heritage Christian.
And what do we have here? More lightning in the area. Not the sign you wanted to see as players coming back off the field. And again, we'll go through the procedure again. Fans will exit the stands. Players will go back into the locker room. And we play the waiting game yet again, Mr. Benberry. Well, how about this? We started with 6:35 left to go in the first, and now we only get down to the 5-minute and 10-second mark. So that's a minute and 25 seconds gone in playtime, but it took about 10 minutes past, because it's now 9 o'clock. And we saw 2 touchdowns. We saw the 2 quickest touchdowns scored in that matter of time. But, man, what an interesting turn of events now. So we go through this process yet again, and it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, I kind of realized it would be a long one after the hour break, and I thought, again, I was telling you, I was like, I thought I saw something in the sky. I wasn't really sure if it was a lightning, but it turns out that it was. And we see the refs talking to Shenandoah's coach down on the field near the 30-yard line. So I'm wondering if they want to. I'm not sure how long they're going to keep it going. I don't know the specifics of if we can be out here till 1 o'clock in the morning playing a football game or not. So I'm not sure if he's like, do you want to continue the game or what? I'm not sure how long the weather's supposed to be in the area. So
yeah, this will be a decision made up with the referees, with the coaches. Probably have the ADs in the discussion as well. But right now we see referees are heading off the field. All the fans are exiting the bleachers. Not sure where the lightning came from. I didn't see it from our vantage point. It came from the northeast is our best guess. So again, we sit and we wait and we just hope that we can get this puppy to halftime, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. We're going to pull up the radar for you. So again, that there pause is the real time of where we're at. So if there's any lightning that's coming from that or I'm sorry, the southwest side or the bottom left of your screen. So that either is moving up towards us or that's just where the lightning is. And, that's the radius of in our area. And so that counts as our area. So we'll just have to see what the refs and coaches want to do. I'm sure Shenandoah wants to get this game played so they can kind of get their players some exposure and some experience of a Friday Night Light and see what his team has, especially after you scored a special teams touchdown and you kind of want to keep that momentum going. I'm sure Heritage Christian wouldn't mind calling the game up 20-6. I'm sure they would be like, yeah, I'm ready to go home, and let's knock another W in the win column and, call it a night. But it's not up to Coach Ray or us in the booth, so we'll have to see how it plays out.
It's not a short drive nor a long drive. Right in the middle, 35 minutes is where Shenandoah is from Heritage Christian High School. So, unfortunately, in another lightning delay. Well, we're back. Heritage Christian High School lightning delay number 2 did not last as long, but it's still taking away valuable time in the night. Players are back out onto the field. Shenandoah and Heritage Christian again going through a short little warm-up, getting their legs stretched back out. We'll see if there's more lightning in the area. We don't think there is, so we don't think there's any.
Well, now you jinxed us.
Well, okay.
I
misspoke. There could be more lightning in the area, but who knows? If we have another lightning delay, we may see this game get played tomorrow, but we will wait and see. Nonetheless, we're going to be here, and we're going to deliver this game to you on IndianaSRN. Jarrett Lewis and CJ Benberry still with you, and we're still in the first quarter. So these players have their work cut out for them the rest of the night, as do the coaches, and got to think about those referees, too. Those guys in black and white.
Yep.
It's going to be a long night for them as well. They're going to have to get through their stretching as well. We see a couple of them doing that right now. It is 9:40 Eastern Time here in Indianapolis, just outside of Indianapolis on the northeast side at Heritage Christian High School. 20-6 our score. The Eagles scored quickly after our first lightning delay, a 24-yard touchdown reception to Zach Schlamer from Kyle Antone, his second touchdown of the night. 3 passing touchdowns for Antone on the evening. And then on the response, Shenandoah was able to take the following kickoff 90 yards to the house. That being Keegan Fitch of the Raiders gets the Shenandoah on the board for the first time this season. Again, the Raiders did not play at all last week due to COVID protocols. They didn't find out they were playing here tonight until sometime Monday. So Coach Stillwell saying him and some of the coaches didn't have their normal weekend prep in preparation of Heritage Christian. As you see some of the big plays from the first half, that being the first score of the game to Zach Schlamer from 34 yards out. When we get things going here, we will have Heritage Christian on offense. And here's the 40-yard screen pass touchdown to Colton Brown. That was the second score of the game. Extra point was blocked on both of the first touchdowns, so it was a 12-0 score. And then after the second touchdown reception to Schlamer, Eagles went for 2. They converted. That made the score 20-0, and then the kick return touchdown for 6. Here's the second turnover of the night, the interception for Heritage Christian. Tip pass, C.J. Opper there to get the pick. And now both teams have gone to their respective sidelines. Third touchdown pass of the night from Antone to Schlamer there on the replay. That made the score 18-0, then the 2-point conversion. So before the second lightning delay, we were waiting on Shenandoah to kick off, and then we heard that dreaded whistle and the signal from the head official to send everybody back to their cars, back off the field. And we did that for just a short time. It was a 30-minute lightning delay this time.
And so from what I think we've been told, if they have to leave the field, or if there is another lightning delay, then it will be pushed to tomorrow. There's going to be a 10-minute halftime once we get to the second quarter, and the players will stay on the field. They won't go back into the locker room. So from here on out, it's players out on the field, and we seem to be back underway again. The first rain delay happened at 6:35. Game clock says 5:10. You didn't, and you read that right. First quarter still, so we've had a slew of scores here in the first quarter. And we are finally ready to get this game back underway, Jared, after Shenandoah with a kick return and a short squib.
Short kick bounces to the 22-23-yard line. Coming in to field it for the Eagles is C.J. Opper, and now Heritage Christian will begin their fourth offensive drive from the 27.
Well, so far, 3 for 3 for Heritage Christian, scoring on possessions. 1 or 2 of those touchdown passes to Schlemer, and the other 2 Colton Brown. So quarterback has looked good. He's thrown for 3 touchdown passes. We'll see if he can connect and go 4 for 4 here.
Usual spread look with A.J. Neal as the wingback just left of the left tackle. Antone with the snap. The give is to Brown up the middle, and he's swarmed by the Raiders defensive front, able to fight forward for 2 yards to the 30-yard line. 28 yards rushing on 7 carries for Brown. That's good for 4 yards a carry.
Second and 8 for the Eagles.
Antone's numbers so far, 5 of 6 for 122 and 3 passing touchdowns. And again, just the first quarter of play. Here's another give to Brown. Bounces off the first guy, but is met by the second and thrusted into the field of play. Brown able to pick up 4, and it'll set up a 3rd and 3.
And so now, a third down play here for the Shenandoah defense. They need to get off the field here. They need to find the way to pressure this quarterback and not let him have so much time in the pocket. The problem with that is with this shotgun formation look that he has and Colton Brown is running back, it's really hard to get this team off the field on third down. We'll see if they can do it here.
Neal is in the backfield. He'll be a lead back for Brown, who is
they did.
met in the backfield. Couple of Raiders back there to bring him down. Job Robinson is one of them, number 72. Also back there, Dylan McDaniel. Those are the 2 defensive linemen for the Raiders.
Looks like they're going to go for it, Jared, on 4th down.
And now last week we saw this a little bit. Antone, they might have him just take a few steps back, which they will, and he'll just pooch it back. But instead, with the hard count, they got somebody to jump, and that'll give the Eagles a first down.
Smart there by the quarterback / kicker, Antone. And again, Shenandoah had the third down stop. They had him where they wanted to, and as a coach, that's very frustrating. As a lineman, all you have to do is just watch the ball. The ball is right in front of you. If it's not being moved, don't jump that line. I know you want to try to get a head start on the quarterback. But that's just a mental error for the Shenandoah defense, and now they got to work 3 extra plays harder now, try to get them off the field.
That was the first 4th down that Shenandoah defense had forced, but they give the free yardage to Heritage Christian, and on first down, Antone hooks up with Schlemer. That's his 3rd catch of the game. Good for 7 yards.
Schlemer had 7 catches last week, 3 already so far, 2 touchdowns this week. He had 1 last week, so he's had a strong 2-game start for Schlemer here in Heritage Christian.
That makes 10 catches through the first 2 games, and we still have 3 full quarters left to go. Colton Brown up the middle, taking tacklers with him. Good enough for a first down. 10 yards to Colton Brown on his 9th carry.
43-yard line. First down, Eagles.
Brown unable to go last week against Traders Point, but had some of his teammates step up in his spot, including the freshman Jalen Bonds, who is not in the game tonight. Coach Ray ruled him out before the start of this one. Bonds had 7 carries for 97 yards. Just a freshman is Jalen as well. Isaac Jones got a bulk of the carries. He had 19 for 81. 2 receivers both sides. Antone, catch and throw. Near side, Schlamer escapes the first tackler. Gets to the 35-yard line. 4th catch for Schlamer, and that connection has just been bread and butter for the Heritage Christian Eagles.
And you can expect that all year long. The senior wide receiver for Heritage Christian. He's one of the captains of this team, along with the quarterback and Colton Brown and Austin Yates. So the 4 captains on this team, and so far they're being used heavily.
Give to Brown. He's got a hole up the middle. Drags the defender with him, who took him down from behind. Mason Lewis on the tackle, but Brown with a huge pickup. 13 yards on the carry, and another first down for Heritage Christian.
And he dragged that defender all 13 yards, Jared. And again, it just shows how hard it is to bring down this all-state running back, Colton Brown. He does everything. There's not a lot of more good things I can say about this young kid. He's going to have a bright career ahead of him and a bright season.
Antone looking to pass this time. Goes far side, jump ball up in the air, intended for Yates. Just a second incompletion so far for Antone. And it'll bring up next a 2nd and 10.
And that might have been the first bad, quote-unquote, bad pass we've seen from Antone there. I'm not sure if he and his receiver were on the same page. He kind of wanted to throw that fade route towards that front pylon, and Yates kind of broke late towards that, and a nice job there by the Shenandoah cornerback. They're reading that, kind of that stop and go route towards that pylon, and just got in front of the defender enough to alter that play.
From the 22, another give to Brown up the middle. Another nice hole created by the offensive line, as Brown sees his 11th carry go for 5.
5, that's 6. 34 for the Eagles.
It's another 3rd down here for the Shenandoah defense. So we'll see if they can, again, try to stop him. We'll look for either a run to Colton Brown or a quick out pass to Schlamer, who's on the bottom of your screen.
Antone looking near side. It's not there, and he won't go down without a fight. It'll take 2 Shenandoah players to bring him down. It won't be a sack. Antone able to get a yard out of it. Initially looked like he could have gone down for a loss of 3 or 4, but turns something out of nothing, and now it's another 4th down look for the Eagles.
And so here's that 4th down. The kicking has been an issue all game for Heritage Christian. A officials timeout, it looks like, but it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down, Jared. So, the ball is going to be in the hands of number 20 if I had to bet anything. So if you're Shenandoah, you might want to play the run here or move those corners up towards the receiver, jam those receivers in case it's a slant pass. You're not giving them that much time off the line of scrimmage. So we'll see what they do.
4th and 3, another hard count and another jump from the Raiders. Cannot like that if you're the coaching staff on the Shenandoah sideline.
That is twice this drive that they've had a 4th down and had a chance to get the ball back to their offense, and both times they've jumped off the line. Again, it's a mental error for the Shenandoah defense, and again, this is their first game of the year. They're trying to go through some cobwebs and stuff like that, but you can't have that twice on the same drive, and it gives this offense a fresh set of downs.
1st and goal from the 10 for Heritage. Sweep near side. Colton Brown down the sideline. We see a flag flying in. Meanwhile, Brown does reach the end zone, but it's likely this play will come back. Near side official now tells the head ref it will be a holding call against HC.
And I think that's probably the 2nd or 3rd penalty on this Heritage Christian offense too. So kind of it's not known for this Heritage Christian offense to have a lot of penalties, and they've had 2 on this drive, and I think 3 total so far in this game. So the offense, I know Coach Ray won't be happy about that, and he'll work on that when they practice on Monday. But again, Heritage Christian has left some sort of a door open for Shenandoah. They've had opportunities to capitalize, and they've shot themselves in the foot. So now it's a first and goal from the 20.
The third holding penalty called against the Eagles. Lob pass towards the end zone, jump ball, and he comes down with it. No, the referee says it's an incomplete pass. He was forced out of bounds, but that might be where the penalty flag comes in.
Right. It looked like he hit him before the ball got to him. He kind of, hit him out of bounds, and so we'll see if it was what the call is. But as a cornerback, you've got to get your head up. You've got to play the ball. That time he played the receiver and just anticipated, when that ball was going to be coming down, and really just hit the receiver. If he would have turned around and got his head up and maybe see where that ball was, he might have been able to deflect that ball.
Keegan Broderick, the receiver who came down with it. But the pass interference is called, and that'll move the ball back to the 10-yard line. So the holding from Heritage is essentially negated, and we see a 1st and 10 yet again from the 10-yard line. Antone, the give to Brown. Met immediately at the line of scrimmage. Won't be much for Brown. In fact, does just get back to that line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 now coming up for the Eagles. Brown on this drive, 6 carries for 35 yards.
And believe it or not,
and would you look at that?
2 hours and 50 minutes.
After 2 hours and 50 minutes, we finally reached the end of the first quarter, and we'll play 12 more into the second quarter. 20-6 the score. The Eagles lead it here on IndianaSRN. Second quarter about to get underway from Heritage Christian High School. Jarrett Lewis with CJ Benberry. The Eagles up at the moment, 20-6 over the Raiders. Heritage Christian comes in as the 6th-ranked team in Class 2A. Got the victory last week over Traders Point, 34-14. Shenandoah in Week 2 is playing their first game of the season after not being able to go last week due to COVID issues. And now after a few offsides penalties, they've extended this drive to Heritage Christian, and the Eagles see themselves at the 10-yard line, 2nd and goal. A.J. Neal, the wingback, on the right side. Brown on the right side with Antone. Eel motions over to the left as the lead block for Brown. Swarms in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1. The Shenandoah defense on these runs now, they've kind of picked it up on their run defense against Brown.
They've done a better job here since we've had the 2 weather delays. And, I would say, sell all out to stop Colton Brown, but this quarterback play has done such a nice job today, and it's so hard to stop one or the other. So, again, Shenandoah, Coach Sidwell said, they're going to be working through some stuff to try to figure out what they want to do. So, if they can continue to stop the run and stop Anton in the pocket, they've got a shot.
Anton outside of the pocket, throws towards the sideline in the end zone, and Schlamer was there but unable to haul it in.
Well, here's another 4th down, and, this is a ball's on the 11-yard line, so I'm not sure if they want to kick a field goal here, but if you're the Shenandoah defense, first things first, do not jump off sides and give them any more yards to get closer to the end zone. That's your first thing. And second thing is play the end zone. So that play by Heritage Christian was a nice play, just a roll out to the right, throw on a comeback play. So play the end zone, and maybe I would press up on the receivers as you see them doing here at the bottom of your screen. Here's the same play.
Another rollout towards the right. Antone, same exact play to Schlomer again, and he's in. Schlomer with his third touchdown catch of the game, and it's still early. We're still in the second quarter, and he extends the Eagles' lead to 26-6.
You can see him limping a little bit here on the field. He put his hand up to maybe get someone to come in for him, so we'll have to monitor Schlomer. Hopefully he's going to be okay, but, I mentioned right before that play, you got to press those receivers because it seemed to be the same exact play and play the end zone, and that's 3 times that Heritage Christian has been in a 4th down situation and has somehow gotten a first down or have scored. So just one thing that Shenandoah is going to have to learn here on defense, and Coach Ray doesn't seem to be trusting his kicking unit this game as another 2-point opportunity for Heritage Christian.
A typical look on offense. Antone on the keeper this time. Read option. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Signal for the referee. Gives the 2 points to Heritage Christian. And they make up for the 2 blocked PATs with 2 good 2-point conversions. Eagles lead at 28-6. They're in control here in the second quarter. Don't go anywhere. More football to come on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
The third touchdown reception of the game to Zach Schlomer gives the Eagles 28-6 lead over the Raiders. And now Mateo Jesh kicking off. Short kick that is misplaced. That's anybody's ball. Shenandoah looks like they're going to fall on it. But a bad play there by the Raiders has them set up well inside the 10-yard line at around the 7. The Eagles have had all the great position, whether it be by turnovers or forcing the Raiders off of the offense. But Shenandoah has had some bad field position, and they'll have it again here as you check out the third touchdown catch from Zach Schlomer, and he counts it out for us. 1, 2, 3, and they all came almost all in the first quarter.
Yeah, and he could have a big day depending on how high they run this score up here. So third possession for Shenandoah. Let's see if they can get something going.
To give up the middle, and met immediately to get the tackle is Tim Jackson of the Eagles, who we mentioned early on in the broadcast had a magnificent game last week at Traders Point. 4 sacks of the quarterback. And there he makes his first big play on defense. The third carry for Bob Ayers of Shenandoah. His first carry was a fumble back on their first drive in the first quarter. Now here's play number 2, 2nd and 11. Another give to Ayers. Gets a little bit more this time. Gets across the 10 to around the 12. A gain of 5 for him. And his helmet came off with it, so he'll have to take a trip to the sideline for the time being. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Raiders. They've only gone to the air 3 times. Right now, Brookbank in his first game at the varsity level is 0 of 3 with an interception.
And since they haven't thrown much on a 3rd and 5, you know, they've ran that kind of toss play to Ayers. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that here. Let's see if they can get their first 3rd down conversion in this game.
Quick catch and throw, and reading it all the way was Schlemer, and almost came away with his 4th total touchdown. Pass falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 5 for the Raiders, and they'll be punting about out of their own end zone.
I mean, Schlemer has really done it all. He scored 3 touchdowns and almost came away with a pick there, and it was just a simple out route. And again, that's kind of on the quarterback of just kind of knowing where he wants to go and not going through his progressions. He's locked in on one guy, and again, the safeties and quarterbacks can read that and see that you're doing that. And you know, when they know that you're locked in on one guy, they're going to jump that route. Should have been an interception, but Schlemer next time won't drop that.
See a penalty marker down. It's going to be a delay of game. Raiders taking too much time, and that'll push them back even farther.
Raiders called for delay of game.
And I mean, I've looked around the stadium. I don't see any play clock.
The play clock, it has not been working.
Yeah,
but both sides are off. And now we get a timeout called by Shenandoah. They'll have to be punting deep out of their own end zone. And they're down by 22, giving the ball back to Heritage Christian. Back in a moment on IndianaSRN. Make sure you don't miss any of our upcoming games here on IndianaSRN. Find our YouTube channel, hit that red subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell so you're notified of when we go live. We had 4 football games for you tonight on the family of networks IndianaSRN. Those other games are probably close to being over. Meanwhile, we're still here at Heritage Christian. We're going strong. In the second quarter, 9:40 left to play. 2 lightning delays have pushed us back. End over end punt. It's going to be fielded in at the 30-yard line. Gavin Wilson downing it for the Raiders, and back in his own end zone is the punter, who must have taken a hit after he got that ball away.
Or maybe he might have landed when he came down. He did get some pressure from the right side, so either he got hit or maybe just kind of landed awkwardly on that ankle and might have rolled it. But
seeing 2 trainers right now kind of stretching out that left leg, which looked to be the planting foot of the punter. He kicked it away with his right leg, so stretching that out. Maybe a cramp issue to deal with. It's still hot out. Past 10 o'clock. But still an issue to deal with, and now he's going to walk off the field under his own power. Heritage Christian will have great field position yet again, beginning this drive at the 30-yard line. And they are 4 of 4 on their offensive drives. Zach Schlemer is back out on the field after his 3rd touchdown catch. Kind of saw him limp over to the sideline, but he is in the slot on the far side. Antone looking that way, and he gets it to Schlemer on the screen. Well-designed play by Schlemer. We saw that play a lot last week against Traders Point. They ran it around 5 or 6 times, and it's been a successful one. Gain of 15 for the Eagles.
We saw it earlier this game, too. That's one that one of the drops that Anton has, and Schlamer dropped it, hit him right in the numbers, and just took his eyes off it. They went back to that same play again, and it's just a simple wide receiver screen. You see him top of your screen there, just darts to the inside, and Anton makes a great dart pass right into the chest.
First time we call Isaac Jones his name. He gets just back to the line of scrimmage. Two different Raiders in on the tackle. One of them for Shenandoah,
Jones on the carry.
being Colby Seiler.
Down behind the line. That'll make it 2nd and 11 for the Eagles.
At that nose tackle position, in on the tackle, forcing a 2nd and 11. Antone has two receivers to his right, and Jones to his right. Looks that way, brings it back to the left side, and well read defensively by Shenandoah. A.J. Neal tackled well behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 6.
And it looked to be a wide receiver / tight end screen, so kind of what they ran with Schlamer on the couple plays ago, but this time not running in as far, kind of just a kind of out and then stop and wait for the ball, and that time the Shenandoah defense read it. So this time a 3rd and 17, so Shenandoah's had Heritage Christian in a couple 3rd downs, and they've got him into a couple 4th down situations, but you got to finish the drive. You got to get him off on all 4 downs. We'll see if they can stop him here on 3rd.
5 wide for the Eagles. Antone has room to run. He'll step up in the pocket. Puts the ball in his left hand. Takes a turn inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Antoine keeps it.
Gain of 5 yards, so still a 4th and long situation coming up for Heritage Christian. They converted the previous 2 thanks to offsides penalties on Shenandoah, but this time situation is a little bit different.
So again, a 4th and long. You play the sticks here for the Shenandoah defense. So if you're Heritage Christian, look for that same place, the same formation they had, where you kind of roll out and do a comeback with Schlamer on the far right side. Pressure seems to be coming from the Shenandoah defense, and you saw it there. So Anton calls a timeout. He saw the pressure coming up the middle from Shenandoah, maybe try to get him off sides. That time Shenandoah didn't jump off sides, but he got to see kind of what they were thinking with that blitz defense.
Heritage Christian calls a timeout, facing a 4th and 13. Check out on the action when we return on IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at ReynoldsFarmEquipment.com.
Fourth down and 13 coming up for Heritage Christian. They come out in a different look this time. 2 receivers on both sides. Jones to the right of Antone in the backfield. What does Coach Kyle Ray draw up here for his offense? We'll get whistles first.
Might have been a false start on the offense.
And indeed, that will be the call. So that'll push him back outside the 20. Now it'll be a 4th and 18.
False start Heritage.
Starting to see a few more penalties come out of both teams now.
And you've had a couple. First delay was about an hour and 30 minutes. Second one was 30 to 40 minutes. So, you know, you want your team to be focused, and when you have these sort of interruptions, your focus kind of has some mental lapse here. We've kind of seen that here in the second quarter. Blitz coming again from Shenandoah.
Antone looking over the middle. Nice one-handed interception by the middle linebacker. Coming near side, taken down at the 36-yard line and losing his helmet as well for Shenandoah. That's Lucas Mills, a senior linebacker. Coach Stillwell loves Lucas Mills at that middle linebacker position. And a nice turnover, the first one caused of the evening for Shenandoah.
And that might have been the second. I mean, this was probably the only bad pass that he's had all game. I say one earlier wasn't a bad pass, just kind of off the mark with his wide receiver. But on a 4th and 18, again, Shenandoah brought the blitz, and that might have been the first freak out, quote unquote, that we saw from Anton and Heritage Christian, and he made an errant throw. It looked like he was trying to go with the slot there, trying to go to Austin Yates on a slant across the middle. It looked like he might have been stopped short regardless, but that's where he was going, and the middle linebacker might have fooled him pre-read coverage and kind of dropped back into that zone and made a nice one-handed interception. So that momentum on defense, we'll see if that can lead to some offense momentum for Shenandoah here.
The best fielding position for the Raiders in this game so far. They start the drive at the 31 after the second sideline warning penalty was thrown against Shenandoah. Mills was able to get the ball out to the 36, and that's where Ayers brings it out to. They'll mark the ball down at the 37, so a 6-yard gain for Bob Ayers, his longest run of the night so far.
Ayers on the carry for Shenandoah.
Here's a 2nd and 4 for the Raiders. Wing back on the right of Brookbank. Takes a snap out of the pistol. Direct give up the middle. Finally wrestled down. On the tackle for Heritage Christian, Colin Thompson. Outside linebacker.
And so now a 4th and 1. Oh, 3rd and 1. The scoreboard was wrong. With Heritage Christian and the quarterback being 0 for 4 in this game, you can really sort of play the run. If I'm Heritage Christian, I'm bringing blitzes, and I'm trying to force Shenandoah to make the quarterback throw the ball. He hasn't completed a pass so far in this first half. We've got 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. On the 3rd and 1, I would look for Ayers to have the ball here. Looks to be that toss play.
Noah Bowen, the man in motion, losing the snap is Brookbank, and the Eagles are all over it. 3 separate defenders get to the backfield, and coming away with it is Ethan Orsted for Heritage Christian. That's the 3rd turnover of the game now for Shenandoah, and it gives the ball right back to the Eagles after they failed to convert on 4th down.
Well, a 3rd and short here, and again, that center quarterback exchange is one of the most important things in football. Second time that the Burbank has kind of fumbled the snap for Shenandoah. So, early on for Shenandoah, they've got to figure out what they have at this quarterback spot. So far, he hasn't shown any flashes in this first half.
See Antone roll it to the left for the first time. Yates on the catch. Inside the 20, breaks the first tackle and gets to the 15-yard line. They'll mark him just short of that at the 16. That's a pickup of 14 on the catch and run from Austin Yates, his first catch of the night. First down and 10 for Heritage Christian from the 16. Now 5 different receivers with a catch for Heritage Christian. The give to Jones. Counter play will get approximately 3 yards. We'll see where the referees mark it. It is a gain of 3 for Isaac Jones.
Sweet. Colton Brown here is in front of us, bottom of your screen, not in the game. I'm wondering with a 28-6 lead if Coach Ray doesn't even want to risk having him back out there with not playing last week, or if he wants to see maybe some young guys or what that issue might be. But again, you've mentioned a lot of backup running back play this drive.
Antone finds Neal out in the flat, trucks one guy and may have stepped out of bounds, was toe tapping himself on the far sideline. Referees will mark Neal out of bounds at the 4.
Out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Makes it first and goal for the Eagles.
Nice pickup there for A.J. Neal, his second catch. First one was a screen that ended up being a loss of 6.
And he's a big guy, Jared. He's 6'2", 225. On the defensive side, he plays linebacker, so he's not the easiest guy to bring down, as you saw in that last play. He rolled through a couple tackles. I thought he got into the end zone, but he couldn't keep his balance inside. On a first and goal, they'll look for him or the back running back to get the ball here.
Direct snap. Antone takes it. Got a running start and got close to the goal line. Antone did a little bit of that last week. 2 rushing touchdowns for him.
He's already scored 1 on a 2-point conversion. And Anton is a 6', 200-pound junior. So again, Kyle Ray has a lot of guys that are big on this offensive side. Colton Brown is 5'10", 175. He's probably the smallest out of his playmakers on this offensive side. So 6', 6'2", the quarterback, and the wide receiver A.J. Brown, and Colton Brown 5'7".
Antone hurries up to the line. He's under center, trying to get a push from behind, which he does, and he reaches it over the end zone. Kyle Antone gets the Eagles back on the board again. Touchdown number 5 for the Heritage Christian offense.
And they've been very efficient. Out of their 6 possessions, they've scored on 5 of them so far. Led by this quarterback, he's thrown 3 touchdowns. He's ran for 1. So he had 4 total touchdowns last week. He's got another 4 this week. So 2 really strong weeks for this quarterback, and we're only in the second quarter for Anton. So he could add to his total and have set career marks all throughout this game.
Eagles will elect to go for 2 again. Another snap, and Antone looking for another push. He may have got in again. That's the signal. Back to back to back. 2-point conversions are good for Heritage Christian. They extend their lead to 30 points and lead at 36-6 over the Raiders of Shenandoah.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Thanks for sticking around on IndianaSRN. We're at Heritage Christian High School, where the Eagles have jumped their lead out to 36-6. Kyle Antone gets into the end zone. 1-yard QB sneak up the middle. 2-point conversion is good as well. Eagles are 3 of 3 in that category. Kick goes directly out of bounds from Heritage Christian, so Shenandoah will get to set up in really good field position, probably their best of the night at the 40-yard line.
I was going to say, might be their best field position so far. Here's that quarterback sneak for the 2-point conversion for Heritage Christian, and or the touchdown, excuse me, and just a simple quarterback sneak, and then he does it once again here. He's got to be a little careful there. It looked like he was moving before that snap even came, so make sure that ball is snapped before you're moving, so you're not going to get a false start. And it looks like Shenandoah has elected to let them re-kick instead of taking the ball at the 40. Interesting choice here for Shenandoah. I would have taken the 40-yard line for field position, but maybe since they scored on a kick return earlier, they want to take their chances again, so we'll see if they can score 6 more points.
Mateo Jesh this time will tee things off. from the 35-yard line. A much better kick this time. Fielded from the 8.
About the 8-yard line.
Shaking 2 tacklers is Finch. He had the kickoff return, the lone score for Shenandoah, and he brings the ball out to the 29-yard line.
So this Shenandoah offense is only going to go as far as their quarterback play does, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, but I don't think he has completed a pass so far in this first half. And we've played maybe 20, 22 minutes of football action, and he has not completed a pass so far. So he's got to get on track. Coach Sidwell's got to find a way to get him on track, and if he can't maybe generate a drive here, maybe look towards your backup here in the second quarter, especially with you not playing a game, you've got to find who's going to be your quarterback starting off the year.
Brookbank takes the snap. Fakes it to nobody back there, but has plenty of room to run. He's going to pick up the first down. A 13-yard carry close to the blue H in the middle of the field. And a nice first down play for Brookbank.
First down,
and maybe so that, and I believe that is their first down of this game too. Comes at the 2:20 mark of the second quarter. So little things, maybe that'll get this offense going. We try to mention the special teams and the defensive stops. Maybe the first down will get them going.
Brookbank looking to pass. He's going to air it out, not on the same page. 2 receivers in the area, one of them being Gabe Louder. Louder was more in the middle of the field, and going down the sideline looked to be Drake Stevens. Brookbank looking for his first completion. He's 0 for 6 so far. Brookbank again in the pistol. Looking to pass again. Airing it down the near sideline and trying to go after Drake Stevens. But that pass was well in the middle of the field, nowhere near Stevens.
And that time pressure was coming from that Heritage Christian defensive line, so we had to get out maybe a little quicker than what he wanted to. But again, if I'm Heritage Christian's defense, I want all the pressure on that quarterback. So I'm either selling out on the run because I know that's all that they can do to move this offense, or if they're going to pass the ball and I want to make them pass the ball, I want to bring just a bunch of blitzes from different directions. Maybe it's up the middle, right side or left side, get this quarterback uncomfortable, more uncomfortable than what he already is so far in this first half.
Ayers motions up next to Brookbank, who keeps it. A.J. Neal isn't going to let Brookbank get much more.
And that seemed to be kind of like a quarterback contained for that defense where it's man-to-man across the board, but you have that one linebacker who just follows the quarterback. Wherever the quarterback goes, that linebacker goes. And that time, A.J. Neal had that assignment, and he wanted to do a quarterback draw, but A.J. Neal was right there to wrap him up and take him down.
The Eagles defense forcing back-to-back fourth downs. Mason Lewis back standing at the 30-yard line, set to punt this one away. Zach Schlamer standing at the opposite 30-yard line. And we get another penalty marker coming in.
Flag.
That's another delay of game.
But see,
twice now.
I'm sure they have the refs maybe on a timer of the 40 seconds, but there's nothing lit up here in the stadium to show the play clock or the game clock, excuse me. So, if you're Shenandoah, it's kind of just have to be like a mental thing. They can only have, so and so seconds, or if the ref's standing next to the coach, maybe they would give him a signal. But
end over end punt. It's going to take a bounce backwards from the 40-yard line towards the 50. And it's going to go out of bounds. Referee marks it down at the 49 of Heritage Christian. Great field position yet again for the Eagles. Just a punt of 16 yards.
And they've got great field position, you mentioned, with plenty of time on the clock. 2 timeouts left in the second quarter. So, you know, look, the 2-minute drill is maybe one of the most important things for an offense. That kind of gets that quarterback going where things are on the fly. You don't have time to huddle up. You don't have time to maybe get set plays called. So we'll see how Anton does here in the 2-minute hurry-up offense and if he can get some points on the board. Blitz coming.
Anton feeling the pressure, and he's not going to be able to get out of it. Ball's on the floor. Who's going to come up with it? Looks like Heritage Christian is going to be able to pounce back on. Clock is still running, and Coach Ray may just let it wind all the way down now that you see your offense in worse position than what you started, back all the way at the 29-yard line.
And as a quarterback, you're feeling the pressure there. Either, I mean, obviously you don't want to take the sack. If you have an opportunity to throw that ball out of bounds, throw it out of bounds. But smart decision here from Coach Ray where obviously not going to get any points, just take the knee and head into halftime again. 10-minute halftime, and the players will be staying on the field from what we reported, so we'll have to see what they do here.
Nice defensive play by Shenandoah to close out the half, but they still trail the 6th-ranked team in Class 2A, the Heritage Christian Eagles, 36-6. 10-minute halftime, and when we come back, we'll have second-half action from Heritage Christian High School on IndianaSRN.
Tonight's winner was Reagan Beck. Reagan is going to try to keep.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. We're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites. Woo!
I get her, not solo!
You see what I did?
Yeah!
Come on!
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Game day on Indiana SRN. And now here's a special message from Assistant Commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Sandra Walter.
In cooperation with the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Indiana SRN would like to thank the men and women who officiate our sport contests. Congratulations to the following officials who've been selected as Official of the Year in their respective sport. This distinction is based on service to student athletes, coaches, and community over decades. These men and women have given countless hours to promoting and ensuring that education-based athletics are afforded to your student athlete. In cross country, Mr. Ted Knopfsinger. Soccer for 21-22, Mr. Lawrence Lohner. In volleyball in the north, Mr. Steve Klein. And in football in Lake County, Mr. Fred Schob. If you'd like to become an IHSAA official, please contact Sandra Walter at the IHSAA office, phone number 317-846-6601. And a huge thank you to Mr. Keith Meyer and IndianaSRN for being such an advocate to our officials, our student athletes, and our administrators of 407 member schools across the state of Indiana. We certainly thank you for the support and the constant effort to promote all that is good about education-based athletics.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
I am Heritage.
Heritage Christian.
We are Heritage.
I am Heritage.
We are Heritage.
It's halftime at Heritage Christian High School here on IndianaSRN. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying with us. It's been a long night, but we're only halfway there if you think about it. Jarrett Lewis alongside C.J. Benberry. The Eagles up 36-6 over the Raiders and showing exactly why they're one of the top-ranked teams in Class 2A, doing it through the air mostly. Their first 4 touchdowns were touchdown passes, and 3 of those to Zach Schlamer, the other one to Colton Brown, and Kyle Antone getting that last touchdown, the 5th score for Heritage Christian, the 1-yard run before we headed into halftime. The lone score for Shenandoah was the kickoff return from Keegan Fitch of 90 yards. That was with 5:10 to go left in the first quarter. And what seems like it was yesterday when he scored that kickoff return touchdown. But now we are getting close to starting this second half, just a 10-minute halftime, and teams are already back out on the field, going to go through a little bit of a warm-up before we get the second half rolling. Heritage Christian received the ball to start the first half, so Shenandoah will be on the kickoff return to begin half number 2. It's been kind of a dominating fashion from Heritage Christian. Saw some good amount of dosage to Colton Brown, who's coming off that hamstring injury but was good to go. And Kyle Antone bouncing out that offense with 4 passing touchdowns, 3 of those to Zach Schleimer.
Yep, he's had a nice first half. He had that interception on a 4th and 18, and if he could have had that pass back, I think he would have taken that back, and he took a sack in the 2-minute drill when I'm sure Coach Ray wouldn't want him to take that sack, or he could have, recognized the pressure and maybe got rid of it a little sooner or done something like that. But overall, it was a really good quarter for him, a first half for him, in this Heritage Christian offense. And for Shenandoah, I mean, they showed flashes of stuff on defense, and offensively, they finally got their first down. And they need their quarterback to make a completion here, so we'll see if we can do that here in the second half.
Before we
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
almost ready to get things rolling here in the second half from Heritage Christian. Jarrett Lewis with C.J. Benberry. The Eagles are going to be kicking off to Shenandoah. Coach Kyle Ray in his 6th year, a record of 36-19. Started the season 1-0 after defeating Traders Point last week. The Raiders unable to play last week due to COVID, so this is their first game of the season. These two teams are in the same sectional, sectional 38, which is a very tough sectional. You have these two teams alone. Also Eastern Hancock in that sectional. Cecina and Centerville are in sectional 38 as well. So it's going to be a very tough sectional 38 to try and win. The Eagles were champions of that sectional last year, defeating these Raiders back in November, 45-26. Two historically good football teams doing battle, and right now the Eagles getting the better of it, up 30 points with 24 minutes still left to play.
And I believe the IHSAA rule for scoring is running clock after 35 points, so Heritage Christian close to that mark with a 30-point lead so far. And you know, if the Shenandoah's offense has to get going here in the second quarter, and again, it's on the shoulder of their quarterback. They haven't had a lot of running lanes open, and they haven't. I don't think he completed a pass that first half. So the quarterback has to get his head in the game here and have a great second half.
Second half kickoff from Mateo Jesh, and a decent return here out to the 40-yard line. Stevens on the return will get wrestled down finally at the 40. Actually, Keegan Finch on the return for Shenandoah, the one that had the kickoff return for the touchdown, as the Raiders in decent field position to begin half number 2.
Strong start here to the third quarter, so you know they got the ball at the 41-yard line, but they had the ball at close to that last possession when they got their first down and went downhill and went backwards from there. So it's more about, again, consistency from this first half. What are you going to show Coach? You basically are auditioning for your job here for Coach Stidwell in his first year. So let's put that first half behind them and see if they can come out in the second half and play better.
The opening play of this second half has 3 receivers out wide, and it's a pitch to Ayers in the backfield. Gets some nice blocking from his receivers. Gets toward the sideline, tackled out of bounds by Heritage Christian C.J. Opper. Decent pickup on 1st and 10, 7 yards for Bob Ayers.
Some good speed there for Ayers. They're going to call him out about 2 or 3 yards short from that first down marker, but we've seen that toss play a couple times from Shenandoah in the first half just to get Ayers some space in that backfield. The blocking has been nice on those toss plays, and they've picked up at least 5 yards each time they've ran that play, so that's a nice play that Shenandoah has in their back pocket.
This time 3 receivers near side for the Raiders. Brookbank in the pistol. Same exact play, going to the left this time. Ayers will cut it back up the middle, pick up the first down for Shenandoah, and get the ball over into Heritage Christian's side of the field.
And that time you mentioned same play, just ran it to the left side, but you didn't see him go all the way to the left. That time Heritage Christian forced Ayers to go back right, and Ayers did a nice job reading his blocks and reading where that hole was, right in between the center and the left guard, cut it back right, and found another 5 to 6 yards up the middle for their second first down.
After the fumble on the opening possession from Ayers, he has responded well. His last 4 carries are 5, 7, 7, and 6. Brookbank looking to pass this time. Near side, throwing it up there for his receiver. Number 3 against number 3. Looking for Gabe Louder was Brookbank. On the defense was Camden Wolf, a senior for the Eagles secondary.
They ran that play a couple times in the first half, and it's a nice play. The quarterback has a nice, strong arm. Just got to get some separation from the line of scrimmage. Does Loudon trying to get through that cornerback and maybe just put a little bit more touch so that his receiver can run under that ball.
2 receivers split out on 2nd and 10, both sides. Ayers, the usual back, will now motion to the left of Brookbank. Fake to Brookbank. Design keeper for Brookbank, and he's got room to go. Up the middle, tackled at the 20-yard line. Nice pickup on 2nd and 10, 26 yards on the run for Carson Brookbank, the longest play of the night so far for Shenandoah.
And they've looked good here in this first possession in the third quarter. They've mixed the run and the pass. Three runs, 1 pass so far, but their runs have gotten big gains. They're catching this Heritage Christian defense a little bit off guard here. They're going to have to clamp down. And this is, again, the best field position that Shenandoah's had and the best drive they've had all night.
Brookbank has the Raiders inside the 20 at the 19. This time it's a give to Ayers, and he's met by a wall. A.J. Neal there on the tackle, and there for the assist was also Nick Stewart. The 8th carry of the night for Ayers. He has 30 yards rushing. 36 yards on the ground for Brookbank. And that's all the offense Shenandoah has been able to come up with. No completions yet for the Raiders as we are now under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. On 2nd and 10. Brookbank. Out in the flat, off the fingertips of the receiver he was going to. That was Gavin Wilson.
And good recognition there. He saw the blitz coming from the outside linebacker. He had his receiver just run a simple out route. Could have been a better throw, but if it hit the receiver's hands, as the great John Madden said, if it hits your hands, you got to catch it. So that's on the receiver there. You got to make that catch there. So it's going to be a 3rd down and 10 for Shenandoah. I wonder if they kick the field goal with this good field position, their best field position they've had all game.
The front line of Heritage Christian trying to get the fans and the sideline into it on 3rd down. 2 receivers to the left and right. The pitch to Ayers, far side, and Heritage Christian reads it well. It's going to be a short pickup of just 1 for Ayers, and it'll set up 4th down.
And this seemed to be a very conservative call for Coach Stidwell. Again, your quarterback's been struggling all game, hasn't found a completion. Maybe trying to catch Heritage Christian off guard with a run on 3rd down, which kind of tells me that they were going to go for it on 4th. If you were going to maybe kick the field goal on 3rd down, you might have gone for a pass play, get some extra yards, but try to see what you can get on the 3rd down run, so make it a 4th down and manageable. And right now it's a 4th and 10 for Shenandoah.
Shenandoah going for it on 4th down from the 20. Brookbank over the middle. Pass is hauled in. It's right at the marker. It's going to be close. The first completion of the game for Shenandoah goes to Gavin Wilson. And the referee marks it down right at the 9-yard line. They're going to give the first down over to Shenandoah.
Yeah, it's like I think they're going to give him that spot. And you mentioned the first completion for Shenandoah, but it comes at a very big time. Keep this drive going. So now a 1st and goal for Shenandoah, and they're knocking on the door for some points here.
Now inside the 10. Here's Brookbank. Meshes with Ayers, who is full speed ahead up the middle, close to the goal line, brought down right at the 1-yard line. Longest rush of the night for Ayers at 8 yards. Brings Shenandoah within striking distance.
And goal at the 1-yard line for the Raiders.
I would be willing to bet it's going to be another run play here to Ayers, or maybe a quarterback sneak. We've seen that at 2-3 times from Heritage Christian. We'll see if Shenandoah steals a play from them with a quarterback sneak here.
Ayers still in the pistol with Shenandoah at the 1. Heritage Christian loads the box. Brookbank, fakes the give to Ayers. And on the read option, Shenandoah scores their first offensive touchdown of the season. It comes here in the 3rd quarter at the 7:29 mark. Carson Brookbank into the end zone.
And that was their best drive that they've had so far. And it was mostly the run play, but they got big chunks of yards with their run. Finally completed a pass here. So if your coach did well, again, that's something you can just build off of. Now, if your defense can get another stop here of Heritage Christian, you feel a little bit more confident about your offense and how they move this drive. Get a stop here and then another score, you're back in this game.
Shenandoah going for 2 here, trying to cut the deficit to 22. Ayers goes in motion. Brookbank fakes the give. Looked like the same exact play on the touchdown, and Brookbank gets back into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good to indeed cut that deficit down to 22. So Shenandoah still has a little bit left in them, as it's 7:29 left in the 3rd quarter. Heritage Christian still leads and is going to set to get the ball back. Don't go anywhere. More football to come on IndianaSRN.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry-out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
The Shenandoah offense comes to life, and they finally get their first offensive score on the season. Scores 36-14 with the Eagles on top. Set to get this kickoff. Want to remind you this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Kicking off for the Raiders is Brookbank, the quarterback. Bob Ayers, the running back. Ayers with a pooch kick. Bounces and jumping on it quickly at the 36, maybe the 37, is Isaac Jones of Heritage Christian.
Here's that touchdown run here. Just a great option. Reed, you saw the quarterback see the slot cornerback come from the pressure on the bottom of your screen, and that's what the quarterback does. You read if that lineman or that corner is going to be rushing all the way through on an option, you keep the ball and run right past him. If he stops, if he's going to play more towards you, hand that ball off to the running back and let him do his thing. A good read there by the quarterback.
First play on the drive for the Eagles. It's incomplete. Antone looking for Schleimer near side. Antone, who has been on the money, just 2 incompletions before that one. And if you include the interception, he is 10 of 14. 155 yards through the air for Antone last week, 185. A well-balanced machine last week from the Eagles, and the same here tonight as Isaac Jones gets in on the carry. Haven't seen Colton Brown for a while, but Jones worthy enough to get the touches, and he gets 4 yards on that carry.
4 yards.
I'm going to assume his day is done. I believe I see him on the bench getting stretched out, just that hamstring. So my guess would be he is done for the day, Colton Brown, but maybe if the game gets a little closer, Coach might bring him back in. But it was hot earlier in the day. It's now cooled down to about 74 degrees. Don't want to risk anything.
3rd and 5, a quick hitter, and Schlemer's right there, right at the sticks. It will be enough for a first down. Nice slant route on the near side from Schlemer.
And that's what's so tough about this offense, because you can't really press the receivers on a normal 3rd down because, you have the rushing attack, and they can just blow right by you. But if you give too much space, you allow them to get that speed, and Schlemer the speed to go right past you. So looks like they're selling out on the run here, Shenandoah's defense.
Antone will keep it himself. A spin move off one tackler and losing his helmet. The 3rd and 4th guy finally brings him down. And it's a Shenandoah defender who is still down on the field, but he does get up. That was Jalen Van Sickle. Antone's helmet comes off, so he's going to have to sit out just for the one play.
So I wonder who we'll see at quarterback, or who their backup quarterback is. They're going to... I didn't know if they were going to call timeout or not. They had everyone at near the coach, but looks like Schlemer is going to take the snap here.
Schlemer is in the backfield with Jones.
Yep, Schlemer.
Maybe some wildcat action, and Schlemer's just going to keep it himself, go towards the right, away from the strong side, and it's enough from Schlemer to pick up the first down, and we got some extracurricular after the play. Schlemer did pick up the first down. Did not see any flag on the play.
I'm not sure the ref saw who did what, I believe, because, they're still huddling up, and I don't see a flag. But, I believe it was 72 for Shenandoah. Kind of got probably a little frustration call. And Heritage Christian's moving on their defense. They've put up 36 points against them. Probably just a frustration call, but unless he said something to him down at the bottom of the pile or something, that you want to keep this game pretty clean.
It's been clean so far, and we're going to move on. Schlemer gets the ball yet again, this time on the reception. That is catch number 8 for Zach Schlemer, good for 6 yards this time, and Schlemer has now reached 110 yards receiving. Last week, Schlemer had 7 catches for 66 yards, including a 20-yard touchdown reception, the only touchdown he had last week. And now he has 3 tonight, and they all came within the first 13 minutes of gameplay. 2 backs in the backfield with Antone. A.J. Neal is on the right, and Neal's going to be the one to get the ball. Good defense out in the open field from Shenandoah. Out on the tackle was Bob Ayers. Ayers now kind of limps to the sideline. Third down and 5. Coming your way from Heritage Christian. This has been one of the longer drives we've seen from their offense. Rolling out to his right. And Neal gets the ball yet again, this time on the catch. Breaks 2 tackles, gets to the sideline. And the yards after catch from Neal will be good enough for another Eagle first down.
And again, he's such a big body. I mentioned his size earlier, 6'2", 225. He's a senior on this team, so he knows the plays. He knows where that first down marker is, how to get that first down. And that's exactly what he did there, especially with Colton Brown not being in the game. They're going to have to rely on a couple other players to get the job done in the backfield, just like last week.
We see a timeout called by the defense. Coach Stillwell and Shenandoah opting to take this time to talk things over. First down for Heritage Christian. They're at the 30-yard line and threatening to score again, up 22 on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Saw the late end of that game. A.J. Neal, the intended target on the wheel route from Antone, just out of his reach, and just the 5th incompletion from Antone in this one. Will bring up 2nd down and 10 from the 30-yard line.
It was a great play, too, kind of a running back wheel route for Neal, and I think the pass was on target. I think it was just maybe a little bit ahead of Neal, who might have got slowed up at the line.
This time the Eagles will put it on the ground, and the give is to Jones, who carries a couple of tacklers with him to a 4-yard gain. 4th carry of the night for Isaac Jones. He has 14 yards rushing, as does Kyle Antone on 4 carries. Third and 6 coming up. Kyle Antone gets the play from Coach Ray. The percentage has been good so far tonight for Heritage Christian on 3rd down, and even better on 4th down. 2 receivers both sides. Antone looking left. Comes back right. Now looking for space to run, and he's got some room. Picks up a block from Neal on the far sideline. Nice spin move into the end zone for the touchdown. The 2nd rushing touchdown for the quarterback, Kyle Antone. He's had himself a ball game.
And that time, that's what you want to see from a young quarterback, the progression. He looked left, didn't have a receiver, looked right, kind of scrolled out to the right, tried to make a throw on the run. He decided to keep that in, does want to have another interception in this game, and then it was all about using his eyes and his feet. Recognized that all the defensive players were on the right side, moved to the left and scored a touchdown, as we have a Shenandoah player down in the end zone on the far side. And the Shenandoah players are kind of down on their knees, so usually kind of means it's a somewhat serious. So
not sure who it is, but he's still down, and a couple Shenandoah players on their knees around him. We'll wait and see if Heritage Christian elects to kick it or go for 2. They've gone for 2 in their last 3 touchdowns, and they've been successful on all 3 of them. Let's go back to the touchdown scamper by Kyle Antone, which was initially a pass, and he went through all his progressions.
Yeah, you see him look left there. He wants to go down the field, so he moved right, but he decided to tuck that ball in. Maybe we can get a play here as he dives into the end zone. And
it's Bob Ayers who ended up tackling Antone in the end zone and went down.
Kind of grabbed that lower calf lower leg area. They got him off of the field so they can maybe go for the extra point. They are setting up for the extra point here, so we'll see if they can knock one down. But, yeah, once a player, maybe a cramp here again. They've been out here on this field for a long time. It's 11 o'clock, after 11 o'clock. Temperature's not as hot, but they've still been out here a while, so a fake.
Fire drill for Heritage Christian, and Schlomer just has to throw it up in the air. It's picked off by the quarterback, Brookbank. And that will keep the score at 42-14. The Eagles strike yet again. Their lead is now 28 with 3:12 left to go. Back in a moment on Indiana SRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School. Jarrett Lewis and CJ Benberry. We've eclipsed 11 o'clock. It's a late night, probably the only game still going on in the state of Indiana.
It's the latest game I've ever called, except when I'm playing 2K or Madden. I might, I can go to about 3 a.m. calling those games, but.
Oh, it was later than that. Come on.
I mean, it just depending on the nights. I got to get up early, so it just depends. But
well, 2 lightning delays that summed into 2 total hours. Now see us into the third quarter, 3:12 left to go. And another kick out of bounds from Mateo Jesh. Mateo was 4 of 5 on PATs last week at Traders Point. This week, a different story. The Raiders had a good rush through the middle. They blocked the first 2 PATs in the first quarter. And the last one was either a botched snap or a botched handle between Schlamer and the snapper.
It kind of looks like a planned fake, but, I mean, again, they've had 2 blocks so far, so I'm not sure if they wanted to do it. But, with the lead up 42-14, maybe now is the time to, try to get that working a little bit. So that's why they brought him out. It looked like a fake to me all the way. It wasn't down long enough for the kicker to kind of go and do the kick. But and there's a penalty on Heritage Christian. Shenandoah has decided to have them re-kick.
This will be the second time we've seen Jesh tee it up now from the 35. Antone, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 4 touchdowns through the air to make up all 6 scores for the Eagles. Last week, Eagles came away with 34 points on offense and haven't gone through 3 quarters of play quite yet, and they've eclipsed that with 42. Keegan Fitch tackled down at the 30-yard line. Getting up from the pile is Tyler Marsh, one of the guys in on the tackle. Shenandoah will begin this drive now at the 31. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that red button, IndianaSRN. Also, click that notification bell so you're notified of every time we go live. You'll never miss a game. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter. We are tweeting out games throughout the entire week, making sure you're prepared for each game that we have for you throughout the week. Had 4 football games for you tonight. Mount Vernon got the win over Franklin after falling last week to Noblesville. Covenant Christian and Traders Point were in action. Covenant Christian was leading that game late. Haven't gotten a score update yet. We will try to find one of those for you. North White over Frontier big. Parker Smith coming up huge. Had at least 4 total touchdowns last time we checked for North White, and they're going to end up defeating Frontier. Brookbank. Pass is going to fall short. Schlamer on the defense. Well, Schlamer can do it all. We've seen him.
Yeah.
We've seen him play defense. Almost came away with a pick 6. He has 3 receiving touchdowns tonight. He had to come in and play quarterback for one play, just to, hey, snap it to me, and I'm just going to run and pick up 7 yards. And he's also the holder on PAT, so the man can just do whatever he wants.
He can do it all, and I think that's kind of interesting for high school football. They have a lot of players that play both sides of the ball. I know I would be tired back in my day if I was doing that, but the endurance now of these kids and the way they can coach them and push them is pretty unbelievable. So he's done a nice job on both sides of the ball.
Here's a pitch out to Bowen, who cuts it back towards the middle of the field and will gain a first down on 3rd and 6.
13 yards for the first
Just the
down.
3rd carry of the night for Bowen. And he's at 15 yards rushing on the evening.
And he's got just as much speed as Ayers does, who is just now, as I looked, walking from that spot. He was hurt on the touchdown scamper by Antoine of Heritage Christian. He's just now walking towards his teammates. Don't know if it's a cramp or what the injury is. We'll try to figure it out for you, but he immediately grabbed that lower leg area. So, again, they've been out on this field all day. I'm sure Shenandoah got here maybe around 3 or 4, and they've been on the field practicing, warming up, and it's 11:11. Make sure you make your wish. So, I mean, it's been a hot day, and it was topped out at 90. Something degrees, felt like over 100. So, hydration is key, and I'm sure it might just be a cramp. Hopefully it is a cramp, and he can be back out on the field either, if not today, next week.
I wish that this game ends clean and in a well-mannered fashion. It's been a long night. We can hope that this game ends the right way, and we'll have a winner. Heritage Christian has played extremely well tonight, looking to go 2-0. It's likely that they will. Bowen with another carry. And Brookbank had the carry on the previous play. He's made some noise with his legs. He's now at 48 yards rushing on 7 carries. Has had a few designed runs at the quarterback spot. Now back in the pistol. Looking to pass in the flat. Flag comes flying in as the pass falls incomplete. Gabe Louder was the intended receiver. Holding is going to be the call.
Holding against the Raiders.
So the offensive line hasn't given their quarterback a lot of time to throw the football. When he has thrown it, he's either taken maybe 3-step drops or he's kind of stayed in that pocket. He doesn't seem to be a mobile quarterback. So, again, if you're Heritage Christian, keep bringing that blitz. Get this quarterback uncomfortable. He didn't make his first completion until the 3rd quarter of their first drive, and he has not completed one. I thought that was a good throw that he had on this last one, just a little out of the receiver's reach. But, again, when your pocket's collapsing pretty quickly, you're going to want to throw that ball, and you're going to make an errant throw. That's what that was. So if his line can give his quarterback just a couple more seconds to throw that ball, he can sling it around. We've seen his arm strength throwing it down the field. He just needs time to throw.
Raiders are waiting for the signal. They get it from the referee. Brookbank has 2 receivers, top and bottom. Bowen still in the backfield. Brookbank looking left, going to throw one deep down the field, and it's going to land in between Schlamer and the intended target for Shenandoah. Looked like it was Gabe Louder. Louder was in the area. Also going downfield was Keegan Fitch. A few of the biggest games in the state of Indiana tonight. Warren Central defeats Bishop Chatard 36-25. Number 1 in 5A Cathedral topped number 3 6A Brownsburg 20-7. Big time game. A lot of people with their eyes on that one. Brebeuf on top of New Palestine 38-14. Faking their give is Brookbank, and this is what he's been able to do.
Wow.
The passing game hasn't been there. Just 1 completion all game. But Brookbank, with his legs, picks up 16, and he now has 64 yards on the ground.
And so, I mean, they haven't been able to stop that part of his game. So, again, if we know he can rush the ball. He can be a dual-threat quarterback. He just needs some time to throw in. And needs a clean pocket, but that's a good way to end the third quarter for Shenandoah.
That is how the third quarter ends. Heritage Christian still in the driver's seat, up 42-14. Shenandoah now in Heritage Christian's side of the field, looking to tack on. Eagles up 28 as we head into the final quarter on IndianaSRN.
My name is Jay Jones. I'm the commissioner of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and we appreciate you tuning in to tonight's game. We hope you'll stay tuned to SRN for tomorrow's Heartland Conference Game of the Week, showcasing some of the best small college football in the Midwest. We look forward to seeing you then.
Kicking off the fourth quarter with a deep pass down the field, and it might be intercepted. It is.
Interception.
Picked off by Sam Graves of Heritage Christian as Brookbank was looking for Drake Stevens. Shenandoah out of the timeout, trying to get a quick score, but great on-ball defense by Graves.
Well, I like the deep shot. I like trying to push the ball down the field. Looks to just be a little underthrown, but we saw the last time Shenandoah defense in the end zone where the pass interference. This time the cornerback looked up and saw where the ball was. So, I mean, same formation. Burbank, again, looking deep at his target, kind of, eyeing in on one guy. But you see how the cornerback is looking where the ball is. He's not playing the receiver. He's playing the ball. So that way you can track the ball, either deflect or get an interception. That time, Heritage Christian comes away with the interception. So an underthrown pass, but, again, we want to see from Shenandoah's quarterback going through your progressions, seeing where you can, what other receivers you have open and not locking in on one.
Anton straight up the middle, won't be denied. Here he is, one man to beat across the 50. At the 30, he's starting to stumble and he falls down. The turf monster gets him right at the 20-yard line. Kyle Antone. How far was that run? 80 yards.
That ball was at least started at the 2 or 3 yard line, so he's.
And they're tackled at the 18, so yeah, give him 80 yards on the run for Antone, which puts him well over 100, almost to 120.
It reminds me of the Daniel Jones run in the NFL where he had a wide open touchdown and he just got tired and fell, and that's exactly what happened here. You could kind of see him losing steam there, and then just kind of tumbles down to the ground, and he's not used to running that far of length, so you see him now hand the ball off this time to his running back. Sure, he's still catching his breath, but I mean that would have been a huge spark, and I'm sure he would have been hyped up after that one.
Yeah, on this play with the read option with him and Jones, probably a keep if you're Antone, but I don't think he's keeping that ball after making that long run.
That one might have been a keep for sure, but he needed to catch his breath after that 80-yard, or a 70-something yard run. And you can see them now taking all the time just to maybe try to get him to catch his breath. And, I mean, here's Christian should be in no rush regardless. They're up 42-14. They're in no rush to maybe call a play, and it looks like they're going to call a timeout just to get Anton a little bit extra breather.
And you can see it. He is definitely feeling it. But what a tough run. Breaking the tackle on the first one, and then Shenandoah kind of arm tackling him after that. And the speed, looked like he had the speed to take it all the way, but just didn't have enough gas to get to the finish line.
You mentioned the turf monster. It comes out every once in a while on those long runs, and he just kind of stuck his arm out and tackled the quarterback.
While Antone and the offense takes a break, we'll take a break as well. 10:30 left to go in the fourth quarter on IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Out of the timeout right at the snap for Heritage Christian. Looking to set up a screen, which they do. They get it to Jones. Two tacklers force him out. Number 50, Lucas Mills, there to meet him at the 15-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the connection to Jones.
Going to make it 3rd and 7 for the Eagles.
Antone had 4 incompletions, including an interception on his previous 4 passes. That time able to connect with Jones for 6. Sets up a 3rd and 7. Antone rolling out.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Throwing it to the back corner. Has his man, Keegan Broderick, on the touchdown catch.
So they've ran a couple different options of that rollout to the right side. One was Schlamer, who just runs towards that pylon, then makes a cutback, looks for the pass, and that time they kind of ran a quote-unquote pick play with their wide receiver. One kind of looks like he was going out, then breaks back in, while another one runs towards the flat and towards the back of the end zone. And that time, Anton throws another touchdown pass and finds another different receiver for that touchdown pass.
Heritage Christian will go for the kick. Mateo Jesh in for the PAT. So far, 2 blocked PATs and a muffed hold on the last one. With this extra point, Eagles could go up 35. Kick is up. It looks good. It is. Mateo Jesh makes it a 35-point game, 49-14 with 10:15 left to go. And with that, we will see a running clock for the rest of this one. And it's not that we want this game to end, but we've been here for a while. That's all we're saying. Let's take a break. We'll be back. 49-14, Eagles on top, 10:15 left to go.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. it's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Keegan Broderick, 10-yard touchdown reception, extends the Heritage Christian lead up to 35, the largest it's been so far tonight. 49-14, your score. Kyle Antone has been spectacular. 12 of 18 tonight, 171 yards, and 7 total touchdowns. 5 through the air and 2 on the ground. Kind of talked about this last week. I was on the call with Coach at Traders Point, where Heritage got their victory 34-14 to open up the season, and we mentioned just how much this guy does not look like a first-year starter. He looks like he has been playing at the varsity level for quite some time, and he has looked impressive here in week 2 through 2 games. Over 350 passing yards and 11 total touchdowns.
Yeah, so far so good for quarterback for Heritage Christian. We see maybe the backup quarterback here on Heritage Christian, maybe getting some reps down there on the sideline. So we'll see, depending if Shenandoah scores here. As you started to see, the clock is rolling, so it should be a rolling clock as long as they are up by 35 points or more. So we'll see if Heritage Christian can get the ball back.
Looks like the usual offense for Shenandoah. Brookbank in the pistol. Will hand off to Bowen. On the tackle for Heritage Christian, Colin Thompson finally able to wrangle him down. 4-yard pickup for Bowen, who in the couple of carries he's only had 5, has had a decent average, 22 yards on those 5 carries.
He's looked good, and as you mentioned, the limited carries. Looking from up here, I couldn't tell if it was him or Ayers. First they have that same kind of speed, lateral speed once you give them the ball in their hands. So he looks like he could be a good running back for this team.
Read option, give back to Bowen. He's got a first down and more across the 40-yard line. Great carry by Noah Bowman, senior running back, who has gotten all the carries with Ayers on the sideline with some sort of injury when he tackled Antone on that touchdown run.
Just thinking back to that 70-some yard run by Antone, I'm sure his teammates gave him some talking when they got back in the huddle and on the sidelines there for that. He should have definitely scored that touchdown run.
That might be an inside joke among them for the rest of the season. Quick hitter, Drake Stevens, his first catch of the night, and just the second completion for the Raiders. Second and 5 from the 46 coming up for Shenandoah. And in their first game this season, definitely it's taken a toll on them not being able to play last week. It's been a while since they've gone through their scrimmage. So getting reps against somebody you're not familiar with, it's taken some time for them to do that. And finally tonight, get their first game underway. Back-to-back completions with Brookbank to Stevens. But yeah, this will be definitely kind of a learning lesson, I think, for first-year coach Jake Stillwell of Shenandoah. Lots of things to look at. You have guys jumping off sides on 4th down, tiny things like that. Few penalties here and there. The passing game from Heritage Christian has been terrific, so the secondary of Shenandoah will definitely have some things to look at. Just overall, everything is wide open from a learning perspective. And got to think they're going to go over everything in their next week of practices in preparation of their next game.
And, yeah, I mean, you're going against a powerhouse here. You've got another tough game next week against LaPel. So, you know, Coach Sidwell knew that he was going to have a couple tough games coming out the gate. But, again, last week with that game being canceled kind of put them behind the metaphorical 8-ball. And so this is really the first time he's getting to see what his team is, where he needs to work, what he needs to work on. And, you know, I think number one is going to be that quarterback play and trying to find him a way to get some easy completions, whether it just be some screen passes, just some short, slant routes across the middle, just anything to kind of get his quarterback in a rhythm. I think the run game here has done well. You had Ayers, and now Bowen has stepped in. He's looked pretty good on the limited touches that he's had. So I think your run game and your run blocking has been pretty good so far against a really good defensive team. It just now comes of getting that quarterback confidence. And, again, this is his first time playing. I don't know about playing varsity, but playing on a Friday night, first time playing this year. So he might have had some jitters and taken him a little bit longer to kind of settle in to game action. But, you know, he didn't get his first completion until the third quarter, and that's something you're not going to win a lot of ball games with your quarterback if you don't complete a pass until the third quarter.
He's now been able to complete 2 on this drive. Brookbank read option, and again, Brookbank with his legs has been quite impressive.
Brings it all the way up for another first down.
He now has 80 yards rushing, does Brookbank. Noah Bowman coming in for Bob Ayers has had some decent runs on this drive. He's close to 50 yards rushing. As a team, Shenandoah has 165. Clock continues to roll. Under 4.5 minutes left to play. Shenandoah putting together a nice offensive drive late in this fourth quarter. 2 receivers both sides. Brookbank forced to his right and brought down. Sacked by Heritage Christian's Nate Salisbury.
A couple games coming up on our IndianaSRN schedule. We got boys and girls soccer tomorrow. Rebuff at Guerin Catholic. The boys kick off at 5. Girls will kick off at 7. On Monday, Tri-West at Heritage Christian Volleyball. That game will be here. That game is at 6. And then on Tuesday, Heritage Christian and Covenant Christian will play volleyball as well. That is at 7. Again, that is volleyball next Tuesday. The calendar flips to September. Next week, we have football. Guerin at Heritage Christian will be here at 7 o'clock. West Vigo at Greencastle. That'll be at 7 o'clock as well. Addicts at Covenant Christian. South Newton at Traders Point. Frontier at Fountain Central. And Mount Vernon at Greenfield Central. All those games kick off at 7, and you can hear all those games and watch on our IndianaSRN network. You can subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, where we will have all the latest info on those games.
3 minutes left to go for Shenandoah. Ball at the 35. One last reminder, this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is permitted. Brookbank still in the pistol, 2 receivers on each side. 3rd and 14. Quick throw. Hitch route by the receiver, and he can't hold on to it. Looked like Gabe Lauder was the intended target. With 16 passes tonight, Shenandoah has only been able to complete 3 of them. Brookbank in his first start at quarterback. 2 interceptions as well, but on the ground has been a different story. Shenandoah has had much more success running the football, 73 yards rushing for Brookbank. And now the Raiders under 2 minutes. Obvious go for it situation here on 4th down. 3 receivers near side this time. Brookbank. They're going to keep it on the ground, and Brookbank is close to a first down. Might have it.
Got it, yep.
With the marker at the 22, Brookbank falls down at the 21, so they will give them a first down, a 16-yard pickup on 4th down and 15 for the Raiders.
And it seems to be that once that running back moves in motion next to the quarterback, it's going to be a quarterback sneak. It's been an option, but I think Burbank has kept that ball 9 out of 10 times that they've ran that today. Finally under a minute here as Shenandoah really just kind of running plays, trying to see what they have for next week, run some new plays, and see what Coach Sidwell can work on for next week as an inside carry to the running back.
That was Bowen. He picks up 4. 52 yards rushing for Bowen on 10 carries. Shenandoah will work a little bit of hurry up now. Under 30 seconds left to go. Again, they give to Bowen. Starts middle, breaks it towards the outside, inside the 10-yard line, towards the 8. And that may just be the last play of this one.
They might want to try to score before the end of the game. Seems like a 2-minute kind of hustle. This will be the last play.
Raiders will indeed run one more play. 2 seconds left to go. The give to Bowen, and he's not going anywhere. The Heritage defense swarms them, and that's how this one is going to end. The Eagles begin the season 2-0 and get the victory over Shenandoah on their home turf, 49-14 the score. They started the game up 20-0 and didn't look back, led by as much as 35, which is what the margin is at the final. 49-14, our final score.
A 4.5-hour game. I don't know if I've ever had a 4.5-hour.
It is 11:35 p.m.
Yeah.
So 4 hours and 35 minutes, but 2 hours of that we can credit to 2 separate lightning delays. We had one with 6.5 minutes in the first quarter. That one lasted for an hour and a half. And then play resumed, and we got in 1 minute and 30 seconds of gameplay before we saw lightning delay number 2. And even crazier, in that minute and 30 seconds, we saw 2 touchdowns scored. Saw a touchdown on a kickoff return for Shenandoah. That was their first score of the game to make it 20-6 by Keegan Fitch, a 90-yard kickoff return. And Zach Schlemer, who had 3 touchdowns tonight in the receiving category. Got to be one of the players of the game. Kyle Antone played terrific yet again in his second varsity start. He finishes the game 12 of 18 for 171 yards and accounted for all 7 of their touchdowns scored here tonight.
You played a great game, and again, Coach mentioned us, and we mentioned and talked about it all game how this was his really first time playing varsity, first time starting. And he's shown so far that he's not just a typical quarterback. He can do just about anything. He can run the ball. We've seen him run. We saw him throw a bunch of touchdown passes today. So he's looked good in the pocket. He's looked good throwing the football. He makes the right read. So he's done a nice job. And when you have Colton Brown, who didn't play most of that time after the second break, it's really good to know you can rely on people like him and Schlemer on the outside.
Heritage Christian begins the season 2-0. They defeated Traders Point last week 34-14 and now get the victory here tonight 49-14 over the Raiders of Shenandoah. Next week, Heritage Christian will be back here at home to face Gearing Catholic. That is a Circle City Conference matchup. And for Shenandoah, their second game of the season will be at LaPel. These two teams are sectional opponents, so who knows, could meet later down the season. But for now, week 2 will go to the Eagles of Heritage Christian. They moved to 2-0 on the year after the victory here tonight, 49-14. For our producer, Matthew Stein, our cameraman, Ken Thomason, and for my good buddy here, CJ Benberry, I'm Jarrett Lewis saying so long for now. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN so you don't miss any of our upcoming games on the family of networks. So long, everybody.